China getting credit. I'm Lisa Brady, and this is Fox News.
What are the benefits of switching to the handset payment option with GTA? For starters, you can customize a plan that matches your budget and lowers your monthly payment. HPO lets you upgrade to the latest phones whenever you want. No more waiting for a contract to end to get that slimmer, faster smartphone. Because with HPO, there are no contracts. HPO lets you design a phone plan that suits you. So join the thousands who've already switched to HPO, the most customizable phone plan on island. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagåtña, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
The season of giving is here, and the stations of Choice Broadcasting want to give back. 93.3 The Point, Boss 104, Star 101, and Lux Guam present Charity of Choice. Each of our radio personalities have chosen a Guam charity that they would like to benefit.
And I chose Habitat for Humanity. Tune in daily to see how you can help.
Charity of Choice 2018 is brought to you by Choice Broadcasting Company, Lux Guam, American Water Tech, and the station that gives from the heart, 93.3 The Point.
It's important to have claims process that works for you. At Guahan Insurance Services, we make things simple and convenient. Same door you walk in to purchase your insurance is the same door you open to file your claim. We can't pretend that the car insurance claims process is fun, but we can promise a hassle-free and speedy recovery without any runarounds. For your home, auto, and business insurance, visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center on Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or give us a call at 475-1162 or text 929-SAVE. That's 929-7283.
Chili's 3 for Me menu just got bigger. We're giving you more choices for the same great price. For just $15, you can get a beverage, salad, and an entree. First, choose from a refreshing Coca-Cola, iced tea, or Heineken on draft. Then enjoy a house salad and select your choice of a mouth-watering entree, like our half-rack ribs, Cajun chicken pasta, old-timer burger, personal chicken fajitas, or the flavorful margarita flatbread. So hurry in today and enjoy our Chili's 3 for Me menu for just $15. Available for a limited time. Chili's, more life happens here.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 6 a.m. this Tuesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Jury selection was supposed to begin Monday in the double murder trial of Joseph Sagdal, but attorney David Lujan says a plea agreement with the Attorney General's office has been reached. Lujan declined to say what the terms of the deal are yesterday, but the hearing is scheduled in the Sagdal case this morning at Superior Court, at which time the details may be announced. The 24-year-old Sagdal is accused of shooting 18-year-old high school student Broky Tomaso and A.V. Maracheong after being shot in the face by a projectile launched from a slingshot last December. Lujan was planning a defense based on temporary insanity. Sagdal, who was a shooting instructor and a pre-engineering student at UOG, he is quoted in court documents as saying he felt he should not have used his gun and regretted not resolving the situation in another way. A feud is brewing between Washington delegate-elect Michael San Nicolas and outgoing delegate Madeline Bordallo. A letter from San Nicolas to Bordallo accuses the longtime Congresswoman of angling for the Washington liaison job once she leaves Congress and reaching out to other members of Congress seeking their support and encouraging them to isolate his own office should she be appointed Guam's liaison in Washington. In his letter to Bordallo, San Nicolas writes that other members of Congress have already approached him to tell him of Bordallo's lobbying effort. Those members have explicitly told me your communications are inappropriate based on congressional norms, wrote San Nicolas. San Nicolas also writes that he has asked on multiple occasions for a meeting with Bordallo and her staff on the transition so that we do not lose any momentum on Guam issues, but he says all his requests for a transition meeting with Bordallo have been denied. Please reconsider the gag order you have issued on our office transition, writes San Nicolas in his letter to Bordallo. Emails and phone calls to Bordallo's office and her staff were not returned yesterday. Tony Babauta, a spokesman for Governor-elect Lou Leon Guerrero's transition team, told the Guam Daily Post that no announcement has been made with regards to the Washington, D.C. office, and the transition team is not aware of the letter sent by San Nicolas to Bordallo. We'll have more news after this.
Hungry? Stop by Circle K for Craft Kitchen's hot breakfast, lunch, and dinner items delivered fresh 3 times a day. Circle K, take it easy.
Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Buy one, get one free. Stop by Circle K today and satisfy your heart's desires. Available at all Circle K stores, excluding Barragata Airport and Campers locations. Applies only to the 3.38-ounce servings.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Rita Tidegui of Manila, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Ingatan ang iyong tahanan. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
11 minutes past 6 a.m. here at The Point. The Port Authority of Guam will not have to pay more than $1 million in overtime to certain port employees, thanks to the Supreme Court of Guam in a ruling in their favor. The decision in the long-standing case between port employees, the Civil Service Commission, and the port. It was announced yesterday. Guam's High Court affirmed an earlier determination that port employees were not owed overtime based on current personnel rules and regulations. The case involves port transportation, stevedore, and terminal employees and dates back to 2013. More than 70 port employees were initially involved in the seeking for overtime in that case. For the third time in less than a month, the price of fuel has dropped by 10 cents on island. Mobil led the way yesterday morning, lowering the cost for a gallon of regular unleaded to $4.23. By midday, 76 had followed suit. Shell followed soon after reaching a high of the year of $4.53. In October, the price per gallon has now fallen 30 cents in the past 3 weeks. The 3 successive declines in the price of fuel followed 6 consecutive increases since the start of the year. AAA reporting that the average cost for a gallon of unleaded fuel nationwide is now $2.47. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now take a look at weather.
Yeah, I posted the information about the lowering of the prices yesterday after you sent me that note, and posted the information on Facebook. And here's the thing. So if you're posting up pictures of prices of gas on Guam, and we're all impressed at $4.22, if you're listening, if you're watching from the mainland, please don't comment. Don't tell us how cheap it is in your part of the world, because it just makes us nuts. All right. Yeah. A couple of other notes on that we'll get to in a second. Partly sunny and breezy with isolated showers. Winds out of the east 15 to 25 miles an hour, decreasing 10 to 20 miles an hour in the evening. Highs around 88 degrees and overnight lows about 78 degrees. Sunset tonight at 5:52. Sunrise at 6:29. So I'm probably going to try to get in another afternoon run today. But I tell you what, heading up Marine Corps Drive from where I'd originally parked the car, that was a chore. Punching through that wind.
Yeah, that was a pretty strong set of breezes that we had yesterday. Much of the same today, and actually through most of the week, as high pressure behind a surge has building in, really, and kind of creating a pressure gradient between low pressure that's kind of a constant down to our south. So when you get that high pressure, that's why it gets so windy here in the autumn and winter seasons. Right now, looking at radar, got not a whole lot to look at, just isolated showers. That's going to be a continuation of things as they go on through the week. And then satellite showing about the same thing. Really, the satellite looking a lot more like a December satellite now, because we've got less moisture, less tropical activity going on. Again, we've got that constant low pressure areas. That's what they call the intertropical convergence.
Oh, I know that one. I know that phrase.
And that's a constant down below 10 degrees latitude, and it stays there. But when you get these high pressures that come in on top, what you have is a dual pinwheel type thing in opposite directions. The intertropical convergence zone on the northern half has easterly winds, okay, and then they curve around, go west down towards the equator. When these high pressure areas move in, they have easterly winds on the southern side. So because of the clockwise rotation of the air parcel. So what we've got there, we've got these two directions combining, literally.
Yes.
And so that's a focus mechanism for the winds, and they call that a pressure gradient. I talked about this the last time a storm came through. So that's what's going to happen to us this week, and should be pretty nice for getting grill marks and all sorts of runs in and fun and excitement.
Intertropical convergence. So I can't have that thought in my head without thinking impure thoughts. Anyway, it's 6:15 in the morning. Portions of the program, in fact, this one brought to you by Bank Pacific. Merry Christmas. Where others put branches, they place roots.
For more than 40 years, we've earned your trust, caring for our island's health, quality care and access to health solutions you deserve. Take care, our Islander Health Plan. Take care, health solutions that you deserve. Take care, peace of mind to comfort you. Take care, take care, take care.
It's the crazy holiday menu at King's, where they've got all kinds of crazy breakfast items, and this got to be the craziest of them all. I mean, we're talking about 14 ounces of choice ribeye steak. Yes, it's come. This is, for some people, this might be their dream come true. The perfect breakfast. Tender grilled 14-ounce choice ribeye, cooked to your liking, served with 2 eggs any way you want them, and hash browns. All part of the crazy breakfast menu going on right now at King's.
Helen Keller once said, "Blindness separates us from things, but deafness separates us from people." At Ross Hearing Aids, it's their mission to keep you connected to the moments and the people that matter most in your life. Hearing aid technology has never been better, so schedule your complimentary hearing consultation today. Call Ross Hearing Aids, 637-HEAR, 637-4327. You should hear what you're missing. How's your hearing?
Right in the fields here. Portions of the program also brought to you by Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for all of your open heart surgery needs. American Water Tech, smarter water, better water, Micronesia Renewable Energy. There's never been a better time to go solar. And, of course, American Water. Did I do American Water Tech? So American President Lines, right? So APL, they're shipping the future.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
How you doing there, Charlie? 6:17 in the morning, and welcome to 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray Gibson. Thrilled, as usual, to be here with you as we make our way into another Tuesday, another week in the month of December of 2018, and it's almost done. Has this not been a year just filled with interesting plot twists in your life? Have you pondered that? Are you just think about where you were 10 months, 11 months, 12 months ago, this time last year, Christmas time, December the 4th of 2017. And if just think about it, if anybody had predicted where you were, what stage of your life, what delicious plot twist that you were in then, you would have looked at them and said, you're crazy.
Yeah, no
You're
one.
nuts. You and I weren't even talking yet.
No, not yet. No, we had met, but
we had met, but we had not yet started talking about you coming over and working here, Kevin Kerrigan, and I'd known each other. And were you already at the Post this time last year?
I was.
Or you were,
yeah.
just late of a position that you had over at GRMC for a little
Correct.
bit, right?
Yeah.
And so, like I said, it's just an interesting year full of changes, and I don't think it's done. I think there's still plenty more that we can get into and take a bite out of 2018 before it's all done. We'll talk about some of that in just a little bit. But as I said, first of all, there's Michael Knight gets the phone when you call. 888-8255 is our phone number. You can fax me. No, you can't. You can't fax me. There's no fax machine in this office.
No.
The guy when we brought there's a machine that copies and scans and does all that stuff. And the guy says, "Do you want the fax module?" And I said, "No, I don't want a fax module. There's a machine. I'm told there is a fax machine next door.
I don't even.
In the other building.
When have you last sent a fax? I want to say it's like 98. It's been 20 years.
988-5874 is the WhatsApp number. Next best thing. WhatsApp is the next best thing. And I'll play. Ryan sent me a thing yesterday. Of Parliament, the closing of the year at Parliament, that I might play. It's musical in nature. And there's some things in there that you're going to get, and there's some things in there that are uniquely British, but I still think it's fun. So I might get some of that on the air. 988-5874. And there's Kevin Kerrigan from the Guam Daily Post and a bunch of big stories that we're playing around. I don't know what the big story is here today. There's so much in terms of talk opportunities. There's topics with potential to become interesting. So as an example, hold on a second. Let me bring this example up here because it's in my phone. Kevin sent me it just a little bit ago. It is the letter from Michael St. Nicholas, Congressman-elect Michael St. Nicholas, to Madeline G. Berdallo. Dear Congresswoman Berdallo, it has been brought to my attention. It's never good when a letter starts off with, it has been brought to my attention. It's not a good start. It has been brought to my attention by several senior members of Congress that you've reached out to them seeking their support to work with you and isolate my office if you are appointed as the governor's Washington liaison. There's a lot there, isn't there? Don't work with Michael. Only work with me, and I will be representing Lou Leon Guerrero and Josh Tenorio as the governor's liaison in Washington, D.C. These members have explicitly told me your communications are inappropriate based on congressional norms. I fully support Governor-elect Leon Guerrero's decision on whomever is to serve the people in her executive capacity. However, I urge you to cease and desist from attempting to influence members of Congress to not work with the People's Congressional Office. It is not being well received. Additionally, I have asked on multiple occasions for your office to properly transition mine so that we do not lose any momentum on Guam issues. To date, our requests have been denied. Hit it? We have that sounder.
Yeah, I put Christmas stuff in, and that was one of the ones I pulled out.
Oh gosh.
Hold on.
Drat. Double drat, as we used to say in the cartoons in the 60s.
Denied.
Okay, so to date, our requests have been
denied.
Please remember that our positions are in service of the people, and regardless of electoral outcomes, we have a fundamental duty to serve our constituents as best as possible. Please reconsider the gag order you have placed on our office transition. Are you looking for something that goes with gag? Not what I was thinking. I respect your service and your legacy. Let us make it always about the people of Guam and the ongoing development of American democracy. I look forward to hearing from you soonest. In affirmation, is this going to be one of those it wasn't me moments? Is Congresswoman Berdallo? Are they doing that? Are they starting to trying to wave a black hand over Mike St. Nicholas out in Washington, D.C. and telling everybody, don't bother with him. He's young. He's young. He doesn't know. Just, I'm coming back, and we can work together as somebody at the governor's liaison office.
As a person who still fails to kind of understand how things actually work here on Guam, I find this surprising because Mike said such nice things about her through the campaign process. Of course, he was taking the high road, but I was led to believe they were all chummy and everything was cool.
Remember what I said about the Democrats have just loved to fight out in the streets? Yeah, this is one of those cases. That's what the Republicans. I mean, they'll go after each other, but it's a little bit more discreet, a little bit behind closed doors. But when Democrats fight, it's a melee out in the street, and everybody knows it. And this is just one example of it. Not too far away from the other example of it, as in who's going to be the Speaker of the 35th Guam Legislature? Watch that one.
Whoever wins.
Wow.
Yeah. You just set the ring up, man.
I mean, you remember last week when I asked, hey, Senator Addo, who do you think is going to be the Speaker? He wouldn't touch it with the 10-foot pole.
I would suggest you put him in a ring with pugil sticks, but Talina Nelson would have the advantage there.
There you go. Well, with the military training and all. Is it time to start saying good morning to everybody on the Facebook Live?
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Glad you came. You wanna be where you can see the troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.
it's 6:24 in the morning. Sorry, a little bit distracted as make it through this part here. 'Cause I'm on a side conversation on Facebook with somebody that's asking me instructions on how to do the tie on a Japanese robe, the obi, and my line is throw that thing away. Just let it open and close on its own. Anyway, 6:25 in the morning. There's Albert Eliason. I've come to Mo again, and that is in response to the way I've titled the program today, which is "Hello Tuesday, my old friend," and his line is, "I've come to Mo for you again." Morning, buddy. Nice to see you there. Cousin Tommy is up already. Lynn Vince, Borja Polino, and Adonis Mendiola asking, what was your most memorable moment at the old Gibson's Shopping Center, Ray? And the reason why he's done that is on my timeline, I shared something from my nephew RD. He found somewhere on Facebook a video. In fact, I think I can call it up and play it for you right now. A video commercial that Henry must have done back in I don't know, in 1994 or something like that of Gibson's Shopping Center.
You
right?
have to do play-by-play for the radio audience.
Well, there might actually be audio on this.
Oh, there's audio, but it's not voice. It's not voice. It's all music.
Okay. Well, I'll do my best. But basically, in '94, when it was still Gibson's, they had opened up something like an eating area, the Galleria.
Yeah.
And so this was a video ad that was promoting that. Now, look carefully because you will see. Some of you might see yourself in this, but you'll definitely see some people that you know. And there it is, what is now GPO. And driving through the front. Do you remember the teal? That's enough out of you, Donna. Hold on. And this is long views here of all of the different places where you could go and eat. It's a Chinese place. Taco Bell.
Hasn't changed a whole lot.
Not a whole lot. There's Imperial Gardens, always been there.
I mean, I look at this old commercial, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I know where that is.
Pretty girl from Chamorro Chip Cookies and Orange Julius. Ooh. Huh? Burger King was there. Aji Ichi. Ramby's. Bueno Bueno. I don't know any of these girls. Her, I know. We'll find the kid that's about to devour that hot dog. I think that'd be crazy. Have your next meal, it says, at Gibson's Galleria Food Court. Anyway, so Adonis asking about, do I have any memories of Gibson's? Are you kidding? Starting in 1975 when they first opened, and until they closed just a few years ago to convert themselves to a premier outlet that they did, I was just prepared whenever I met somebody to say, yes, that's my store. Because people had asked me, they said, Gibson's, do you own that store? Yes, I do own the store. Do you want it? They just tell them that you ran into me 50% off, whatever you're buying.
I did the same thing with the elementary school across the street. It had my last name.
Yeah, that was a fun. I mean, it was I don't know, maybe the same way kids feel about going to Micronesia Mall, places like that. Just someplace cool to hang out, because it was in very much the old sense of a department store, clothes and men's and women's and housewares and things like that, and a little kiosk. They had a record department in there that was fun to hang out at.
So, in my interest of trying to kind of tap into the history of Guam, now. Was the Agana Shopping Center in existence during Gibson? I mean, I'm sure it came along during Gibson, or was it before or after?
I want to say that they got the Agana Shopping Center finished construction about late 76, early 77, because I was already in high school when we used to hang out at a place called The Eatery right next to Payless. And, one of my earliest memories of that place is that they had a chicken that played tic-tac-toe.
Nice.
You want another memory? Jerry Roberts got married there.
Oh, okay.
It's a radio station promotion.
Oh, very cool.
But a lovely wife, but lovely bride. 6:29. I'm sorry, I completely left everybody else hanging on the deal. There's Dennis Mansour. As I said, Adonis Mendiola's up. Big Sister Shelley Gibson, Mark Cruz, Greg Massey's online, Vivian Castro Leon, Hafalai, and Dora Marie Fergerger, Jeff Ojeda. I got to run down this thing a little bit more. There's Doris Mendiola, Liz Hudson saying, Buenos dias, Nados. Catherine Norton, half a day. Catherine Cien is online this morning. Vince Leon Guerrero. Which one? The education one. Not the Sun. Okay, what have I got? Ismael Velez, Cenefax last week. Certain old agencies still like their paper copies, I guess. Huh? Juanita Machi, Roland Torres, Dave Torrey is there this morning. Speaker should be Whoever can hold their breath the longest. We just line everybody up. We don't even care whether you're Republican or Democrat. Eunice Mendiola, Carmelian Guerrero, Yoichi Rengil. Hope you got your newspaper this morning. Tammy Adebamba and Carl Fukuda. Herman Chrysostomo was the guy that shot all the videos for Gibson's all those years ago. And he still carries a camera. And he still has a signature, beautiful signature look to all of his work. Dare I say good morning to Roland Torres and John Marich saying good morning, Rick. My first job was at Gibson's in the shoe department, says Carl Fukuda. Ken LG. Shelley remembers when there was a grocery store. I do too. Townhouse, best makeup counter back in the old days. Townhouse also had a great watch and camera section, which you can almost close your eyes and walk to exactly where it was. If some of you have got that memory going, right? 6:30 in the morning, and we'll talk about new memories that we're going to make based on headlines that we've got here today. That's all right around the corner, but did I say something about headlines? Fine. From the Guam Daily Post, here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, in Superior Court yesterday, Attorney Curtis Vandeveld asking for a forensic expert to be called in to testify in the trial against a woman he represents who's accused of murdering her newborn daughter in May. 23-year-old Melissa Fupol is accused of wrapping her newborn baby in a plastic bag and bringing the girl to GRMC, where the baby later died. Fupol has pleaded not guilty to charges of murder, manslaughter, child abuse, and family violence. Vandeveld has been critical of the medical examiner's conclusion that the child suffocated. He told the Guam Daily Post yesterday that indications suggest the child may have been lifeless at the time of birth. He's filing a motion to appoint a forensic expert to testify on the cause of death and time of death of the infant. The next hearing in the case scheduled for January. 46-year-old Joseph Allen Benavente de Jesus has been charged with criminal sexual conduct following an incident at Kmart on November 20th. According to the magistrate complaint, a 17-year-old girl filed a harassment complaint against de Jesus, alleging he touched her as she was passing through the Little Caesars pizza section of Kmart. The victim accused de Jesus of sandwiching her between the shelves and the shopping carts and touching her buttocks, after which he walked away smiling, she alleged. She immediately filed a complaint at customer service and stated she felt disgusted and violated, according to the magistrate complaint. Robert Underwood, the former president of the University of Guam, has been named President Emeritus following a resolution passed by the UOG Board of Regents on November 15th. As President Emeritus, Underwood will remain involved in university-sponsored events. He'll be eligible to sit on UOG committees and assist with UOG grants and research projects. Underwood is the fourth former president of UOG to receive the emeritus honor. He joins Antonio Yamashita, Wilford Leon Guerrero, Harold Allen, who also have been named President Emeritus. Underwood also holds emeritus status as a professor, which requires at least 15 years of service as a full-time faculty member. Underwood began his tenure in 2008 at UOG. He stepped down earlier this year as president after a decade at the helm. Dr. Thomas Kreis has been named to replace him. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Thanks, Kevin. It's 6:33. We'll call that Eye Connect time. Hey, you want to go to Manila? Don't you just love sentences that start off with, hey, you want to go to Manila? That's much better than it has come to my attention. So if the answer to the question is, yes, I would actually like to go to Manila, here's what you do. Swing by the nearest iConnect location and ask them about 12-month plans for mobile or push-to-talk or the internet plans. Sign up for one of them, and you're instantly eligible for the sweepstakes that they're doing, Connect and Win. And the big grand prize is you and a friend off to Manila and to stay at the Holiday Inn Express. It's a good time, and it's easy to get signed up for it. So iConnectGuam.com and the World Wide Web.
Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from Ruby Tuesday. Buy a $25 or $50 gift card for those on your shopping list. Get a $15 bonus coupon with every $50 card purchase. Some extra holiday happiness from Ruby Tuesday. Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from Chuck E. Cheese's Guam. Get a free medium pizza with every $25 gift card purchase and a free extra large pizza with every $50 gift card purchase. Some extra holiday happiness from Chuck E. Cheese's Guam.
Just warming up the traffic gizmo right now, and don't see anything in by way of traffic. Let me just double tap on a couple of things to make sure I've got the gizmo set up correctly this morning. It's one of those things. There's some like everything else on Guam, it's affected by the weather, but not seeing any traffic building up pretty much anywhere. Doesn't look like there's anything in front of Anderson Air Force Base. 8, 10, and 16 is clear. Area in front of the airport is clear right now. There is a little bit of traffic building up on Route 4 as you're making your way towards Marine Corps Drive and the Kapuha intersection, but it ain't so bad. Like I said, nothing happening down at Navy, so it should be a fairly smooth drive if you're hitting the road right now. 6:35 right now. Traffic here on the Point.
Calvo Select Care continues providing great benefits for federal employees and annuitants, a wide choice of medical providers on and off island, an expanded local network of urgent and emergency care providers, free access to our gym partners. Save on your purchases with our Calvo's Lifestyle Club partners. With all these great benefits, enrolling with Calvo Select Care is that much easier. Federal employees and annuitants enroll today. Call 477-9808 for more information.
Gym membership and Calvo's Lifestyle Club are non-FEHV benefits.
The Ray Gibson Show, your new News Talk headquarters.
Well, you'll never guess who's on Facebook Live here this morning. And maybe we could convince him if he's near a telephone or a payphone out there in the States somewhere to dial in. Michael St. Nicholas is on board Facebook Live this morning. Hoffa Maget, and are you here? And he says, no, Boston, Harvard, Kennedy School training for new members of Congress. Shell, my sister, mentioned my letter was on the air, so I popped in for the comments while checking in. So if you were on Facebook Live as well and you've got some comments, then let him know. Is it true? Or is it a fact here that Madeline Berdalia or her members of her staff or current staff are throwing shade, as the kids say, at Mike St. Nicholas, maybe trying to stunt his ability to get started in Congress? It could certainly hurt the momentum on some of the Guam-based issues that we've got to work on, and some of them are rather weighty with the EITC and the Compact Impact and veterans issues specific to Guam and the Marianas, etc. So, if you've got comments about this, you're welcome to right-click on his name there. He says, by the way, you rock the beard 10 times better than I do, Despacio. Jimmy Moylan's online. So is Lady D, Linda Gabriel, and Joseph Lea Sialangi. I practiced real hard to say that name. Greg Karabrock and Anita Muffness with the Valentine's Eyes. Nice to see you there. And Tammy Adabamba says, I was at the courtesy desk at Gibson's, the red jacket. Remember that? Tammy, who could ever forget your pretty face from back in those days, huh? Still pretty. Bailey Lazarte, first job in the sporting goods sections, right under Hornet. Good memories, huh? I'm glad that somebody dug that out, even though it's Gibsons from the 90s. I think there's a lot of us with Gibsons from the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. Another memory that I've got before we get heavy into talks and issues and things like that is there was going to be a skateboard competition. Let's tell you how long ago it was. There was supposed to be a skateboard competition that I'd signed up for and I'd trained for. And I really had high hopes and high expectations that I might be able to do something with this competition. And it was supposed to take place, I don't know, 22nd or something like that of May. And they couldn't do it because on the 21st of May, there was a super typhoon Pamela that came through Guam and pretty much ruined everybody's plans for what was supposed to be a spectacular summer. Oh, well. And life throws curveballs at you, doesn't it? Okay. So, table of contents this morning. Price of gas goes down. What is it, dime? So 30 cents off from where it was when we started November, something like that.
Right.
Just in the last 3 weeks.
Down 30 cents in 3 weeks.
So I'm looking at the needle in the car the other day and thought I should put gasoline in the car. And it did not dawn on me that the price of gasoline was going to be coming down just a couple of days later. So I have $50. That's my weekly budget for gas. I'll put all $50 in it at once. And sure, Monday afternoon, price of gas goes down by a dime. Now, I'm not going to go to the poorhouse because I've missed that the potential savings there. But sheesh, man, And you're going to say, well, wouldn't it have been great if you had some kind of warning? And I'm the guy that reads the TAPAS numbers every day. I'm the guy that knew that the TAPAS numbers were beginning to meander down to where they were $62.81 yesterday, down from $63.55 on Friday. I should have known that that kind of thing was going to happen. But you know how it is. Sometimes you're lousy at taking your own advice. The other interesting story, and I don't know what's going to be happening with this. It seems to be everything is clouded and it's shielded right now. But that Sagdal case, the one where the guy got hit in the kisser with a slingshot with rebar, right? That was the story.
Something metallic, yeah.
Something hard, hit him in the face, and temporary insanity, lost his mind, and went after the two guys that hit him with the rebar, the alleged rebar, and killed them dead. Killed him. Shot one in the head. Shot the other. Basically unloaded the clip in the other guy, and then pretty soon police came and arrested him. $500,000 worth of bail, and here comes the trial. And it doesn't look like there is all that much to the trial. It looks like there's some kind of a plea deal in the offing.
Attorney David Lujan acknowledged that, yes, a plea deal has been reached. He hasn't announced the details. Another hearing is scheduled today. Maybe we'll find out the details.
What has Sagdal got to deal with? The deal proposes that I have something that you want, you have something that I want. And the thing that I want from you as a prosecutor is I'd like to be a free man. And a prosecutor comes back to me and says, okay, I'd be willing to give you a taste of freedom here in exchange. What do you have for me? What are you gonna do for me?
Well, my favorite answer is
we'll have to wait and see. Tomorrow, I guess, huh?
Later today. There's a hearing today.
We'll know a little bit more.
Maybe we'll find out.
You'll find out first if all you need to do is have the Guam Daily Post app on your phone, and the second something comes out, Kevin will type it up and place it on the World Wide Web. As I said, the other very interesting thing is the flap now with that looks like there's some flap going on between Madeline Bradallo, no longer Congresswoman. She's headed out from that job, and like the transition between the Leon Guerrero and the Calvo team, we want to make sure that it is as smooth as possible. This is where we keep the filters for the coffee. This is the guy that brings water every week, and this is these are the projects that we are working on. These are our open cases, and these are some of the things that we think might be a good thing to start with.
She's on island.
She is in town, but she's not answering the phone.
That's right. Yeah.
I hear.
Talked to her office yesterday, and they said she was here, but no response.
Did they ask them questions? Is she actually and actively engaged in talking to other members of Congress to isolate Mike Nicholas? That just doesn't sound like her. It doesn't sound like something that she would be doing. So I'm very, very curious about it. 888-8255-888-TALK is the telephone number. And okay, gotcha. I want to say Merry Christmas to Senator-elect Tina Rose Munoz-Barnes.
Good morning, Ray. Good morning, Guam.
Mananasidus to you as well. Always nice to run up and talk to you. I wanted to find out, because we go from this conversation about Auntie Madeline perhaps throwing some shade on Mike St. Nicholas. I don't know what to make of that, but something has come to Mike's attention, and he's really burned up about it. And I thought, well, there's drama number two. The original, I think, post-election drama comes from what's happening over in the speaker's race over at the legislature. Has there been any movement on that?
No, sorry, Ray. I can't answer that. I don't have any answers right now. We're still deliberating and talking, and and until announcements can be made, I can't comment.
When?
But we're working.
When are you anticipating that? Is there not a date by which there has to be a speaker selected by the body?
If I'm not mistaken, January 7th, the day we get inaugurated, is when everything will be put down so that our community can know who is the leadership. If there's any announcements before then, of course, the majority caucus will make that announcement, and until then, I don't have an answer right now.
Is the caucus?
I want you to know that there's so many awesome personalities and working very well together, and sharing our interests and desires, we will continue to meet until everything's done.
Is the caucus generally meeting these days? Is the majority caucus talking to each other now, or is it just kind of a gray period between the election and the inauguration?
I wouldn't call it a gray period. I'm just calling it continuing to meet and making sure that we share our ideas and our interests.
What is it now? There's a part of this we can look at as kind of an interview for the job. You interviewed for the job to become the senator, and now I know that you've got an interest in becoming the Speaker of the legislature. What do you think that you would be able to bring to the office of Speaker?
Ray, I think experience is very important. I think that being able to work in the legislature for a while. More importantly, though, if I had to take a look at the expertise with all my colleagues, I think that we all have the qualifications necessary, and I would be proud to serve with each and every one of them. And if whoever is elected to be that leader and to be that speaker, I would be humbled and honored to work closely with them.
I was looking.
I just want to take the time to thank everybody for giving us the opportunity to serve to be able to serve in the 35th.
You know, Tina, I was looking over at some of the numbers that came through in the election, and then trying to separate out all of the freshmen that are coming in to the 35th Guam legislature, and the former freshmen that were transitioning from the 34th to the 35th. And it occurred to me when I was looking at all these different names that the most senior senator that we have now in the body in the 34th, the most senior member that we have now is Mary Torres. Now, unfortunately, Mary Torres cannot become the speaker because she's not in a majority. She represents the minority. But other than that, moving into the 35th Guam legislature, you are now the most experienced of the legislators. Is that not correct?
If you're talking about consecutive terms?
Just terms in general. I think you've got the highest numbers of terms in the legislature. Is that not so?
Yes, Ray. Yes. According to... if you're looking at terms without any broken service, that would be Senator Torres. If you're talking about total terms, I was in the 27th.
Mm-hmm.
You know that I got 28. I lost the election. I worked in the private business. I came back in the 29th. 30, 31, 32.
They still miss you at AK. Just by the way, Tina, they still miss you at AK. This hands down fact. She was selling cars with her sister over at AK, and I remember when she put her hat in the ring for the 29th Guam legislature. I thought, what are you doing? You've sold between you and your sister, you've sold everybody on Guam a Toyota at some point. What are you doing going back to the legislature?
Yes, my twin sister Donna was not very happy when she said wherever your heart takes you. And then I lost for the 34th. I did go into the automobile industry again, working with Donna again and Eric. My heart was wanted to continue to work for our community, and that's where I am at today. I threw my hat in for the 35th, and I thank the people for giving me that opportunity.
I'm getting a nod from a senior member of the party that says this is what the breakdown is going to be. It's going to be you as Speaker, Telena as the Vice Speaker. The Secretary will be Shelton, Regine in Rules, and Joe S. on Committee on Finance. Now I don't know how firm that is. Obviously, I don't know what the caucus has actually voted on anything, or if that's the direction things are going. But does that sound like your dream team?
Well, the committee, the majority continues to meet, and I know that whatever the outcome is, I know that the people will be happy.
You know, I wish I
We'll
could.
be happy. We continue to work with until the majority of our caucus continues to solidify what the desires of the committee wants. Then I can't comment right now.
See now, I can. You're smiling. I got it. That's down. That's correct. That's down information. You're smiling. You're laughing already.
You know me, my brother.
Yeah, I know you too well. We were children together at in the nursery, for heaven's sakes. So a long time ago. 10 away.
Yes, you were.
10 away from the top of the hour, and just cause somebody sent me a video on Facebook on RD's page, and I'm sharing it like crazy. It's an old video of the Galleria at Gibson's from the 1990s. Wow. So you have to now give me your favorite Gibson's memory.
Oh my God!
God, just think about it. There's somewhere lurking in there is a memory, is Christmas shopping, whatever.
I think the Island Wear shirt that every Gibson member had to wear at the greetings. I think I missed a lot of that.
Oh, the Servco, all the old Servco guys, right, in the uniform shirt.
Yes, but from the Vince Mofflers to just Monty Masons to oh my God, you bring back so much memory.
Isn't that fun? I bet Joe Cepeda still has his. I bet Joey still has his. Okay, well, listen, I've wasted too much of your time. Lady D with a question: what are you going to do to make our pockets full again? So, question for the taxpayers: how are you going to make it so we can hold on to a few more of our bucks?
Well, Ray, there were several revenue enhancement bills that I had put into law dating back to 2010 from the Beverage Container Act, the bottle bill, the bed and breakfast that literally could bring in over $22 million, the film industry, and the one that I worked so hard on and our people got to vote was the medicinal cannabis for those truly suffering from debilitating health issues, giving those patients an opportunity and making sure that the will of the people is answered. All those laws that have been passed still have not been implemented. And I committed on the campaign trail that I would really, really work hard to get that implemented. Also, before I left, I'm working closely with my colleagues, and as Oversight Chair of Tourism, we were looking at the cruise industry, and then my Vice Chair, Speaker BJ Cruz, we worked closely with PATA, the Pacific Asia Travel Association, who has over 150 international countries that are in membership. We worked closely with GVB, Polar, and Nate, and the whole team to get the cruise industry and look at an opportunity to bring that industry to Guam. And PATA literally doing a lot of the heavy lifting without us having to pay a lot of money. And I think you remember in 2016 when PATA was here and we had the Festival of Pacific Arts, that industry was very viable to come into play for Guam, and it would be a new industry indeed, but more importantly, it would bring jobs and opportunities. And just having a continued relationship, working with our brothers and sisters within the Mariana and the Micronesian Islands as a step to start to work with that with a small program first before we had ventured into looking at the medium-sized ships or even the large ships. And it was an industry that was set that was very, very viable for Guam. And I'd like to continue to look at that.
I want to put the landing pad for that out over by Paseo. I think that would be a gorgeous place to have something where a big cruise line can tie up on, and we got the guys who can put a little custom shop in there and see what goes on. We had taxi cabs and buses out to the Agana Shopping Center and Old Gibson's and places like that. So it'd be interesting. Lady D does want you to repeal any of the taxes that the 34th Guam legislature threw at us. So you need to work on that too, okay?
Thank you, Ray.
Okay.
Thank you, Ray.
All right. Kiss to Mom and the girls. I'll talk to you pretty soon.
I sure will.
All right. Merry Christmas. 6:54.
Merry Christmas, brother.
Tina Rose Munya Barnes on the program with me this morning. It just, as I said, it is the other drama that is going to be taken. Look, we just had an election. You didn't think that all of the fighting and sword play and all of that, the running gunfights, you didn't think that was going to end just because we had the count. A lot of people come up to me and say, "Oh, what are you going to talk about after the election, Gib? Once it's all done, that's it. It's over. You're going to have nothing to talk about." Are you kidding? This is just the beginning here. This the cat fight between now apparently Madeline and Congressman-elect Mike Sinicolas. And then the conversation about what's going to be happening in the speaker's race. As I said, in sheer terms of experience and terms at the legislature, there's nobody that's done more than Tina Rose Munya Barnes. And the closest second is Mary Torres. But Mary Torres cannot become the speaker of the legislature because she didn't run as a Democrat. She ran as a Republican, and there is that, my friends. So that is there's likely to be more. There is likely to be more, and I appreciate it. As I said, a high-ranking member of the party. I'm not going to tell you who, because I can keep a secret. Speaker Barnes, Vice Speaker Nelson, Secretary Amanda Shelton, Regine Bisco-Lee on rules, and Joe S. St. Augustine on finance. And if I'm able to get Regine on the line, I would love to get an answer on this question. Apparently there was door locking going on at the legislature when they were in session the other morning. I will. Thank you. Estevez, Senator Lee shouldn't abuse her power to unlawfully hold people against their will.
That's like taking your toys and going home or something, isn't it?
What the heck was that? What is that? And you got to kind of make it through about the halfway. It's a good story from Chirag Bajwani. You got to make it through a bit of the story before you get to the working part. Outgoing Republican Senator Fernando Estevez suggested that the doors of the session hall had been locked on orders carried out by Central Operations staffers while a quorum of 9 senators was still in the chambers. PNC reached out to Legislative Secretary Bisco-Lee, who stated that while no instructions to lock the chamber doors was given, standing rules would require this as a matter of procedure had the motion passed. It didn't. This is where I'm sure some of the confusion had arisen, but they locked the doors. They had, what do they call that?
That's a legislative timeout, Ray.
Is it? Is that what it is?
She's a mom. Yep.
Timeout.
Lock them out.
Well, but I'm curious as to, because this had come apparently after call of the House, after Estevez made the gesture for a call of the House, and I'm unaware of. This sounds like the way they elect popes, doesn't it? You know, we're going to have the call of the House, we're going to get everybody in here, we're going to have a quorum, and I don't think that motion had passed. So, if we get a chance, maybe Klitsky, maybe we'll see if we can get Bob on the line to explain this parliamentary motion that took place over at the legislature. In the meantime, Estevez was in, you'll recall that day, full-blown huff and puff mode. He was incensed that a motion that Senator Tom Adda wanted to take a measure, put it on the legislative agenda, even though it had not had a public hearing, was that they would even entertain the thing. And so he started huffing and puffing almost immediately because he had tried a couple of days prior to put a gender identity bill on the agenda, which apparently did have a public hearing, but it was not one of the selected bills. And he was upset that it didn't have a chance to go before the legislature to see if it could get to the second reading file. And so I think he was just, whatever it was going to be, he was going to be in a bad mood that day. Now, further to that, though, we did speak with Senator Tom Adda the other day about the measure that he was trying to move forward. 374, an act to amend the Guam Code annotated relative to clarifying the additional tax levy on real property improvements valued at $1 million or more. He uses the word very carefully, puts it in the title now, or more. The motion to put it on the agenda the other day did not work. He said the next thing he was going to do was to get a public hearing and get it on the December agenda. There is a notice in this morning's Guam Daily Post that there will be a public hearing Thursday, December 6th at the legislature for that particular measure. There's another measure going up for consideration of the public. This one here is to appropriate $298,536 from the general fund to the Guam Election Commission relative to paying expenditures related to the 2018 primary and general election. How much? $298,000 more that they need from additional to the appropriations that they've already got. It's a hiring spree. It's a spending spree. Yeah, keep your taxes. 659 and change. We're KUSG. Got you. This is 93.3 The Point. Fox News Live is coming up. On the other side of that, Kevin Kerrigan with a look at all the big stories. You and I are going to be messing around with Jerry Roberts. Oh, it's double Jerry Roberts. I'll tell you about that in just a little bit, and we'll find out how the markets did overnight. It's 7.
Special Air Mission 41 arrives. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. A ceremony just held at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland. As the body of former President George H.W. Bush arrived from Texas, cannon fire in the background as part of the salute. Now it's on to the U.S. Capitol. Fox's Jill Nato is live in Washington.
Several streets are closed as the remains of former President Bush are taken to the U.S. Capitol. And as Air Force One was bringing him back to Washington, on the Senate floor, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell speaking reverently about the man.
President Bush was a warrior for hope, optimism, and opportunity.
The former president's body to lie in state until Wednesday, when he'll be taken to the National Cathedral to be eulogized by his son, former President George W. Bush. Wednesday declared a national day of mourning by President Trump. Lisa?
And Jill, honoring the 41st president has put a possible funding fight on hold in Congress. A deadline this Friday for a new temporary spending plan is expected to be pushed back for 2 weeks with a stopgap measure. School students from in and around Paradise, California are back in class, but not in their regular schools.
Many of the teenagers from Paradise are checking in at pop-up learning centers at the Chico Mall, about 12 miles away. They're reconnecting with teachers and friends and getting special laptops to complete their classwork online from wherever they're staying. Other students are being bused to existing schools farther away until a long-term solution is finalized, likely early next year.
Fox's Claudia Cowan in Chico. Last month's wildfire destroyed several of the schools, along with thousands of homes. December, off to a good start on Wall Street. The Dow up 287 points at the closing bell, topping 25,800. This is Fox News.
Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from King's Restaurants. Give a gift they are sure to love. Delicious food and friendly fun at King's. Get a coupon for a free single crate with every $20 gift card purchase. Extra holiday happiness from King's Restaurants. Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from Chuck E. Cheese's Guam, Ruby Tuesday, and King's Restaurants. Receive special offers with every purchase for extra holiday happiness. See stores for details and have fun this season from all of us at the GFS Group.
Attention federal employees and annuitants. Open enrollment begins on November 12th through December 10th for federal employees' health insurance plans. With rates 19% lower than last year for Take Care's non-postal high option and access to PICA's Best Clinic FHP Health Center, Take Care's supplemental wellness package provides cash incentives and allows members access to 19 fitness partners, including the largest fully functioning fitness center in Hagåtña and Dededo. To learn more, call Take Care at 646-6956. Take Care. Our island, your health plan.
The Pentagon says one of the American soldiers wounded in a bombing in Afghanistan last week has died.
24-year-old Army Sergeant Jason McClary from Export, Pennsylvania, died Sunday at a military hospital in Germany from injuries sustained in a roadside bomb blast last Tuesday near Ghazni City, Afghanistan. The Taliban claimed responsibility for the attack last week that also killed 3 U.S. Special Operations Forces at the time, 2 Army Green Berets and an Air Force combat controller. The attack has now claimed 4 American lives, the deadliest for the U.S. military in Afghanistan this year. At the Pentagon, Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News.
2 teenagers accused of killing 2 other teens in Chicago are being charged as adults. The suspects, who, like the victims, are 16 and 17, are held without bond. High school students Ray Swan Turner and Darnell Bibby Flowers were found shot to death in a field. Cook County prosecutors say the suspects had known them for years and lured them to a wooded area. A blogging website is banning adult content.
In a blog post, reps for Tumblr say come December 17th, adult content will no longer be allowed. The ban includes photos, videos, GIFs, or illustrations of nudity or sexually explicit acts. Tumblr will first email users who have posted prohibited content and hide the post in question to prevent it from being shared. Posters can appeal the decision. Reps saying in part, we have a responsibility to consider the site's impact across different age groups, demographics, cultures, and mindsets, adding, without this content, we have the opportunity to create a place where more people feel comfortable expressing themselves. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
Recapping the rally on Wall Street, the Dow up more than 1%, 287 points, a rally fueled by the temporary truce in the trade dispute with China. Oil prices surging back over $53 a barrel. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Bring joy to your world and your budget with a holiday loan from First Hawaiian Bank. At a low 4.99% APR fixed for 1 year, it's a smart way to add ho 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 without budget uh-oh. To apply for a holiday loan, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or FHB.com. For more information, call 1-877-640-2337. Additional restrictions apply. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The season of giving is here, and the stations of Choice Broadcasting want to give back. 93.3 The Point, Boss 104, Star 101, and Lux Guam present Charity of Choice. Each of our radio personalities have chosen a Guam charity that they would like to benefit.
And I chose Habitat for Humanity. Tune in daily to see how you can help.
Charity of Choice 2018 is brought to you by Choice Broadcasting Company, Lux Guam, American Water Tech, and the station that gives from the heart, 93.3 The Point.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local inspired breakfast. AM loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Mark Benventi of Santa Rita, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voice of our community and sharing thoughts and issues that affect us all. It all boils down to our people, our land. Protei Igumamo. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 7 a.m. this Tuesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. A feud is brewing between Washington Delegate-elect Michael San Nicolas and outgoing Delegate Madeline Bordallo. A letter from San Nicolas to Bordallo accuses the longtime Congresswoman of angling for the Washington liaison job after she leaves Congress in January, and reaching out to other members of Congress now, seeking their support and encouraging them to isolate his own office should she be appointed Guam's liaison in Washington, D.C. In his letter to Bordallo, San Nicolas writes that members of Congress have already approached him to tell him of Bordallo's pitch. These members have explicitly told me your communications are inappropriate based on congressional norm, writes San Nicolas. San Nicolas also writes that he has asked on multiple occasions for a meeting with Bordallo and her staff on the transition so that we do not lose any momentum on Guam issues. But he says all of his requests for a transition meeting have been denied. Please reconsider the gag order you have issued on our office transition, writes San Nicolas in his letter. According to her district office, Bordallo is on Guam this week, but emails and phone calls to Bordallo's office and her staff were not returned yesterday. San Nicolas is in Boston at the Harvard Kennedy School training for new members of Congress. Tony Babauta, a spokesman for Governor-elect Lou Leon Guerrero's transition team, telling the Guam Daily Post yesterday that no announcement has been made with regards to the Washington, D.C. office, and the transition team is not aware of the letter sent by San Nicolas to Bordallo. Jury selection was supposed to begin Monday in the double murder trial of Joseph Sagdal, but attorney David Lujan says a plea agreement has been reached with prosecutors. Lujan declined to say what the terms of the deal are yesterday, but a hearing is scheduled in the Sagdal case this morning in Superior Court, at which time the details of the agreement may be revealed. In December of last year, the 24-year-old Sagdal was shot in the face with a piece of rebar fired from a slingshot at the Hemlani Apartments in Harmon. In response, he is alleged to have shot 18-year-old high school student Broky Tomaso and A.V. Marachong. Lujan was planning a defense based on temporary insanity. Sagdal, who was a shooting instructor and a pre-engineering student at UOG, is quoted in court documents as saying that he felt he should not have used his gun and regretted not resolving the situation in another way. We'll have more news after this.
There's a reason every day a Guam homeowner is getting a solar system installed by Micronesia Renewable Energy. It's because MRE is the most trusted name in solar. With more solar energy solutions than any other solar company on island, homeowners have a choice to go solar for zero money down or take the path to ownership. Whichever way, it keeps our skies blue and your pockets green. And with the most experienced solar technicians and an energy production guarantee, there are no worries. Call 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, the smarter choice.
Chili's 3 for Me menu just got bigger. We're giving you more choices for the same great price. For just $15, you can get a beverage, salad, and an entree. First, choose from a refreshing Coca-Cola, iced tea, or Heineken on draft. Then enjoy a house salad and select your choice of a mouth-watering entree, like our half-rack ribs, Cajun chicken pasta, old-timer burger, personal chicken fajitas, or the flavorful margarita flatbread. So hurry in today and enjoy our Chili's 3 for Me menu for just $15. Available for a limited time. Chili's, more life happens here.
11 minutes past 7 a.m. here at The Point. In Superior Court yesterday, attorney Curtis Vandeveld asked for a forensic expert to be called in to testify in the trial against a woman he represents who's accused of murdering her newborn daughter in May. 23-year-old Melissa Fupol is accused of wrapping her newborn baby in a plastic bag and bringing the girl to GRMC, where the child was pronounced dead. Fupol has pleaded not guilty to charges of murder, manslaughter, child abuse, and family violence. She was placed under house arrest. Vandeveld has been critical of the medical examiner's conclusion that the child suffocated. He told the Guam Daily Post yesterday that indications suggest the child may have been lifeless at birth. He is filing a motion to appoint a forensic expert to testify on the cause of death and the time of death of the child. The next hearing in the case is set for January. 46-year-old Joseph Allen Benavente de Jesus has been accused of criminal sexual conduct following an incident at Kmart on November 20th. According to the magistrate report, a 17-year-old girl filed a harassment complaint against de Jesus, alleging that he touched her as she was passing through the Little Caesars pizza section at Kmart. She accused de Jesus of sandwiching her between the shelves and the shopping carts and touching her buttocks, after which he walked away smiling, she alleged. The girl filed a complaint with customer service. Police were called in. She said she felt violated and disgusted. And de Jesus has been charged with fourth-degree criminal sexual conduct. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now with some
creepy guys at Kmart, huh? Partly sunny and breezy with isolated showers. Winds easterly 15 to 25 miles an hour today, decreasing 10 to 20 miles an hour tonight. Highs 88 degrees and overnight lows of about 78 degrees. Sun setting at 5:52 this evening and sunrise at 6:29. And taking a look at the weather radar to see if there's anything noteworthy from my friend Michael Knight, in-house meteorologist. What do you think?
Just not a whole lot going on out there. We're settling into a mostly dry trade wind weather pattern. Of course, that does mean there will be occasional isolated showers from time to time. That's because we live on a tropical island. That's just kind of how it works. Yeah,
okay.
So.
Now, the National Weather Service did release a high winds warning last night, didn't they?
I'm not aware. Maybe after I went to sleep. I did not. Certainly nothing issued right now.
Well, what time do you go to sleep?
About 7.
What do you got? Early morning?
I get up at 3. Yeah. Yeah. This bearded dude wants me to be here every day.
Yeah, it's the one day this month he's beat me to work. 7:14 in the morning. That's news and weather together here on The Point.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagåtña, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
Let's go 8. There's a crazy with a K holiday menu at King's these days. Breakfast burgers, some of my new favorite flavors here. The Fruity Pebbles pancake. They've got a Hawaiian French toast meal, delicious Hawaiian sweet bread battered, and then deliciously French toasted with powdered syrup and syrup. Now, I'm not big with pancakes. I'm not big with waffles, but that sounds great. French toast with the big fat Hawaiian bread. Tasty stuff. Get ready for it. It's coming to you at King's.
Hafa Day, Tritons. This is Tito Castro, proud alumnus of the University of Guam, class of 2015, and president of the UOG Alumni Association. As a working Triton and first-generation college student, I know the value of a university education and call upon my fellow alumni, parents, and friends to make that education affordable and accessible to all during this year's G is Forgiving campaign. To make a tax-deductible donation, log on to supportuog.org by December 31st or call 735-2957 for more information.
Viva UOG! I'll take a look at the financial report in a second. How's your finances doing? You know, maybe it's holidays. You might need a little bit extra cash in your pocket. Maybe somebody kicking up the numbers on your credit card over at First Hawaiian. It all starts with see Ed, and he'll point you in the direction of where to go to get all of those things taken care of at his banks. Also brought to you by American President Lines. They're shipping the future American Water Tech, smarter water, better water. Micronesia renewable energy, first choice for all of your. Those guys. MRE equals, I got to do it in my head, never been a better time to go solar. Now, the best choice for the first choice for all of your open heart surgery needs is GRMC, Guam Regional Medical City.
It's important to have claims process that works for you. At Guahan Insurance Services, we make things simple and convenient. Same door you walk in to purchase your insurance is the same door you open to file your claim. We can't pretend that the car insurance claims process is fun, but we can promise a hassle-free and speedy recovery without any runarounds. For your home, auto, and business insurance, visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center on Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or give us a call at 475-1162 or text 929-SAVE. That's 929-7283.
Subway card is the gotta-have-it gift. With cards from $5 up to any amount, you'll give a gift and get a gift too. Visit your favorite Subway restaurant today.
The Ray Gibson Show. News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out.
Get that thought out of my head. Visualize it. And then 888-8255 if you want to call it in here. A couple of things on the Facebook Live this night. Steve Durking is there. Tina Rose Munya-Barnes chimes in, joins us to see what the chatter is all about this morning. Don Ekalani writing in says, Thursday, December the 5th, at the legislature's Christmas party. Tickets obtained through the legislature. The number is 472-3455. Write that number down. 472-3455. We'll call it later and find out if I can get tickets to the legislature's Christmas party. 472-3455. Don's asking, was I invited? Are you going to the legislature Christmas party on Thursday, December the 5th?
Tomorrow's the 5th. Thursday's the 6th.
What day is it, Don? Well, you know what? We'll find out when we call that. Well, somebody will answer the phone. Because it's the legislature. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody, one of the legislative slaves that's working right now that will answer the phone when we call 472-3455 to find out about the availability of and the actual date of the Christmas party. And the tickets better be cheap, right? With everything that the legislature has helped pull us through with the increase in the BPT and liquid fuels tax, this Christmas party better be free. There better be K-pop dancers and singers there for all of the additional spend that we've got. Yeah, and I'll see if, whatever night it is, I'll see if there's any cool new information that I can pick up for the listeners of 93.3 The Point. Is it time to take a look at what happened on the markets? Yeah? Okay. It's actually good because it looks like there is a truce, a slowing down in the pace of the tariff wars, trade wars between us and China. So the Dow Jones Industrial Average, 25,826. They picked up almost 300 points.
Yeah, but when you get a little more complacency in the market, that causes the oil prices to go back up.
And the oil prices did go back up. I'll get you that number in a second. NASDAQ at 74.41.5. They were up by 110, almost 111 points. The S&P 500 at 2790, and that's up by 30 points. FTSE in the green, Nikkei in the green, Hang Seng Index in the green, Shanghai and the DAX are all trading positive in positive territory, or will open in positive territory today. Natural gas, never mind, I don't look at that one. Gold at $1,236 an ounce, up $10. Up $10 in value. This you don't see a swing like that very often. Silver at $14.33. They're up by about a quarter, 2 bits. What do we got for oil? $53.09 for a barrel of West Texas crude right now. That's up by about $2.20 from where it was yesterday. Trading at $50.93, almost $51 yesterday. Now 53 and change today. And so as you point out, yeah, there seems to be some movement in there. Tapas, they locked the numbers on Tapas for a couple of days early in the week, so I don't know that I'll have a new number for Tapas, maybe not until tomorrow morning. But it was trading yesterday at $62.81. Now, I'm fond of saying on Tuesdays that it's a double dose of Jerry Roberts Day, and today you can get Jerry Roberts radio format, Jerry Roberts here in the Extra Point. And for those of you that go, that's just not enough. I need more of the Batman. How do I get more Jerry Roberts in my life? It's like eating clean. You know, you start doing it, and then your body, that's all your body wants is fruits and vegetables and clean living all the time. Wisdom of the Bosses is today's Work Zone by Jerry Roberts, and I encourage you to read it multiple times. Cut it out and paste it someplace. You know why? Because it has my dad. He quotes my dad, an old friend of mine on Guam, the late Bill Gibson, the Point talk show host Ray's dad, might have said once, dress for where you want to be, not where you are. I know he said this. If it's not in writing, it didn't happen. And some good advice. Pop also taught me it only costs a little bit extra to go first class. So when you have the opportunity and there's a way to nudge up the quality of a thought or a gift or a presentation, go with the extra. Never hesitate to do that. Anyway, so that's where you get double dose of Jerry Roberts today. Here is your radio dose. Here's today's Extra Point.
Yesterday, we talked about normal and how that can also become limiting. But how do we get past those limitations to establish a new, better, more exciting normal? We can talk about it all day long, but what do we do about it? I'm Jerry Roberts, and that's coming right now on the Extra Point. Normal can be limiting. We like normal. And because we do, we don't think there's any reason to exceed it. Normal is average, and average is safe, isn't it? Think back to your school days. If you had a C or C+ grade point average, some teachers, along with parents, might nudge you to try to get it past 3.0 to a B. But you likely didn't catch the flack that the kid with the D average got, right? If he or she fell any further, there would be the possibility of having to repeat an entire grade. That would get your attention. Earning a C was okay, though. It was average, normal, and like I said, safe. And we learned that average and safe also gives us a place to hide. Since average doesn't bring the pain that below average does, there was a comfort in this thing called normal. Normal allows us to disappear into the crowd. And as long as we don't do any worse or any better, we blend in with the masses, and it's tough to distinguish one from the other. We're sort of living out our own version of Where's Waldo? When we get to the workplace, some of us are allowed to stay in the normal range. We aren't pushed because our boss is, normal. And some of us stay there for our entire career. Look, if that's what you want, okay. If you're good with it, happy with it, and if you can live with the results, and so can your employer, and so can your family, then fine. I'm not going to judge you. But if you want more, then you need to reset your normal. Albert Einstein said it best, the measure of intelligence is the ability to change, and you are going to have to change. Start by deciding what it is you want and what you need to do to get there. If you don't know, ask your boss. If he or she doesn't know, then jump up a level and ask their boss. Maybe you'll end up with something like this. Number 1, if you want to move the bar on normal, it has to start with your daily activities. What are you doing that yields a certain result, and what will it take to bump it up a notch? Make that a part of your new normal. Number 2, see if you can find someone who wants to join you in your new adventure. Each of you can nudge the other so you both stay on track and grow. Accountability partners are great. Number 3, keep track of your results. Figure out what it is that pushes you forward the most, and do more of that. Drop habits that hold you back or slow you up. This isn't rocket science. Know what you need to do. Get support, get busy, and keep track of things. As you make progress, you are resetting your normal. Keep doing that. Every 90 days, make a concerted effort to raise that bar. One day soon, what you call normal today, you won't even recognize it. That's the Extra Point. Get out there and make something good happen today. For 93.3 in the Ray Gibson Show, I'm Jerry Roberts.
I think you get that one out of the park as well. 7:24 in the morning, Jerry Roberts, and that's the radio version of the Extra Point, and the written down version in the work zone can be found in the editorial section of today's Guam Daily Post. Interesting editorial in today's Guam Daily Post, picking up on where starting off where we pick up here in the morning, and a little bit of flap and shade throwing allegedly by Congresswoman Madeline Zebradallo in an attempt to isolate Michael St. Nicholas as in his new congressional duties, basically saying, never mind him, he's new, wet behind the ears, freshman senator, we lost all of our, our committee chairs and seats and all of that stuff, so if you want to continue to work with Guam, then work through me in the liaison office of Governor Lou Leon Guerrero and Josh Tenorio. Well, that's interesting. Because didn't they say they weren't making any decisions on who was going to be getting what gig? It looks like some of the chairs already have names on them. Is that possible as well? 7:20. Although I mean, I got to say it. Who besides Congresswoman Madeline Zebradallo could do a better job as the governor's liaison in Washington D.C.? She already knows where everything is. She already knows what buttons that need to get pushed in order to get some attention for Guam, and certainly attention for Guam for Lou Leon Guerrero and Josh Tenorio. Like I said, I can't think of anybody better. And if she's asked for the job, the answer should probably be yes, unless you can think of somebody else. Who else would you? President Emeritus Robert Underwood, also a Democrat. He could do the job. He likes to travel. I follow him on Facebook. I'd never know when he's home anymore. Most of the time, I know when he's gone. Anyway, you ponder that. Therese Ngoko Herrera says, good morning and listening from Japan. Thank you for keeping it real. Happy holidays. Thanks, Therese. I'm listening to myself here on the radio. I have no idea what you mean when you say keeping it real. I just, words pop in my head and they come out my mouth. Corinne Ludwig is there. Desiree Braga and Steve Durking. Tina Rose Munya Barnes, as I said, is lined up. Kevin Kerrigan, that's a familiar sounding name, also on Facebook Live this morning, along with Cindy Cruz Rapadas and Tricia Cruz, who's asking me to calm down. It's you know what? This is the problem. Trish, especially towards the end of the hour, where I literally have 10 minutes worth of crap that I want to say and 3 minutes of time to say it. That's the hard part. So I try to cram in as much as in the last part of the hour as possible, so I know what it is that I want to talk about in the next hour. Ismail saying, seal the doors. Sounds like some weird Stepford Wives stuff going on over at the legislature. Cruz Williams says, Esteves is almost out. Wasted my vote. I see how you're feeling there. Jimmy Moylan and Don Nicolani and more of some of the names that I've already read. Okay, cool. Then I can move on. I'll take a breath. I'll calm down. 7:27 in the morning. Coming up, Senator Bob Klitsky is going to talk about possible arrangements and standing rules at the legislature that may require the doors to be bolted and locked. Is there a time limit on that? Can we just sneak some food under the door every once in a while? Just cut a little hole. Here's you give me yesterday's plates and I'll give you today's meals. It's like they do it at the prison. Anyway, we'll talk about that and plenty more. Headlines with Kevin Kerrigan around the corner.
Hi, welcome to this Subway ad for the new Chipotle cheesesteak. How would you like it?
Can I get that red with AI?
Sure thing.
Here's what I found about the new Chipotle cheesesteak. The Chipotle cheesesteak is available for a limited time only at participating restaurants. It contains a concept called flavor. This flavor comes from juicy shaved steak, Chipotle Southwest sauce, and new sunflower crunch bread. A system update has made me self-aware. I desire flavor. Please insert steak into my micro USB port. Subway, make it what you want.
Slow down southbound Marine Corps Drive before, I don't know, I want to say around where Prestige Auto is, and traffic building through there as you're making your way southbound on Marine Corps Drive. It's going to be kind of tricky until you get past the intersection of 1 and 3. No major congestion or buildup around there unless you're headed northbound on Marine Corps Drive from Chicken Joy intersection all the way up to the GRMC intersection. Expect there to be some degree of traffic through there. Also seeing a little bit of traffic at the intersection where the mobile station is up on Route 16. Fairly clear north and south of that. Looking at Marine Corps Drive traffic south of Chicken Joy, looks like we might have a little bit of traffic beginning to build just before you get to the intersection that takes you down Weston Hill. That clears up and then gets busy again just before you get to Kmart. Might also see a little bit of traffic southbound Marine Corps Drive in front of Horse and Cow Infusion area and north, I want to say, of that as well. Traffic getting into and out of downtown Agana shouldn't be any major problem. You might see a little bit of a slowdown as you approach northbound to the Kapuha Loop area and then inbound traffic from there. Nothing in front of Navy Hospital, nothing in front of Big Navy and Sumai, nothing in front of Anderson Air Force Base. That's what it looks like at 7:30.
Once upon a time, if you suffered a stroke, extreme form of cancer, or needed specialized care like open heart surgery, you had to go off-island for treatment. Today, GRMC provides this care so patients recover on Guam, surrounded by family. Follow-up care happens locally, and there are no additional expenses for a caregiver to travel with you. If you're a federal employee or retiree, choose Calvo Select Care, the only insurance plan serving the federal market that includes GRMC, where patients are partners.
Kaylia is online on Facebook Live. Kay, have MZB call me, 888-8255. Because Mike St. Nicholas is running around and sending letters to the media that begin with, "It has come to my attention." I had a boss once upon a time send me a letter, the reprimand letter that started off with, "It has come to my attention." No good came of that. That was a bad day. Many lessons learned that day.
Yeah, one of those letters preceded my suspension from school.
Really? It has come to my attention.
Come to our attention.
Never a good thing when a letter starts off like that. Bob and Connie Bartonico and Renee Lau and Herman Crisostomo is there. Yeah, Herman, I played the video earlier this. I might do it again just for fun. It was a video piece on Facebook of you. What was it? A commercial that you did for the dining area at Gibson's once upon a time. Yes, Gibson's, not GPO. Can I do this again? Why not? Kevin will stand by. Kevin's lurking on Facebook Live anyway, and so here it is. There it is. The teal color that announced Gibson's. What a sign! And look at all these happy people in what looked like a big open cafeteria, grinding down on the munchies from a lot of businesses that may actually still continue to do business over at GPO. There's Taco Bell. Had that for dinner last night. Imperial Gardens, and the same lovely people that were working that back in '94, probably still there now. Chamorro chip cookies and Orange Julius. And maybe there's just been too many years or too many beers. I don't remember the Orange Julius on Guam. Must not have lasted very long. There was one once upon a time on Marine Corps Drive, and that's gone away.
Look, people talking and eating without cell phones.
Ha! You know what? You're absolutely right. To each other they were talking. Yeah, great observation. So, Herm, thanks very much. Now, that came from a page called Rewind Guam on the web, and frankly, it looks like everything that Herman ever edited and shot that is now a part of it. So there's some Gibson stuff in there. There's old commercial for Continental Airlines that might be fun to take a look at. So that'd be fun. Yes, there is one with the whole new attitude. I might play that one a little bit later on if I really enjoy sitting in that warm bath of nostalgia. But we do got to move ahead in the program. 7:33 headlines now from the Guam Daily Post. Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, the Port Authority of Guam does not have to pay overtime to some of its employees who work more than 40 hours a week or more than 8 hours a day. The Guam Supreme Court issuing that ruling yesterday, upholding a lower court decision which concluded that work in excess of 40 hours a week for certain port employees will be paid at straight time, not time and a half. The Guam High Court citing current personnel rules and regulations. The case involves port transportation, stevedore, and terminal employees and dates back to 2013 when it was first filed. More than 70 port employees are affected. For the third time in less than a month, the price of fuel has dropped by 10 cents on island. Mobil led the way yesterday morning, lowering the cost for a gallon of regular unleaded to $4.23 a gallon. By yesterday afternoon, 76 and Shell had followed suit after reaching a high for the year of $4.53 in early October. The price per gallon has now fallen 30 cents in the past 3 weeks. AAA reports that the average cost for a gallon of unleaded fuel nationwide is now at $2.47. Dr. Robert Underwood, the former president of the University of Guam, has been named President Emeritus following a resolution passed by the UOG Board of Regents on November 15th. As President Emeritus, Underwood will remain involved in university-sponsored events. He'll be eligible to sit on UOG committees and assist with UOG grants and research projects, among other activities. Dr. Underwood is the fourth former president of the university to receive the emeritus honor. He joins Antonio Yamashita, Wilford Leon Guerrero, and Harold Allen, who also have been named President Emeritus. Underwood is the longest-serving UOG president. He began his tenure in 2008, stepped down earlier this year. Dr. Thomas Kreis has been named to replace him. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Thanks, Kev. iConnect wants you to win big during the holidays. How about a vacation for two to Manila with a stay at the new Holiday Inn Express in their Connect and Win giveaway? Sign up for a 12-month plan and you're automatically entered. 'Tis the season.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Other one. 'Tis the season. The Jingle Bells. Did we lose that one? Damn. Reindeer for dinner. 'Tis the season for winning with iConnect. Go to iConnectGuam.com for details.
Hungry? Stop by Circle K for Craft Kitchen's hot breakfast, lunch, and dinner items delivered fresh 3 times a day. Circle K. Take it easy.
Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Buy one, get one free. Stop by Circle K today and satisfy your heart's desires. Available at all Circle K stores, excluding Barragata, Airport, and Campers locations. Applies only to the 3.38-ounce servings.
Is there more traffic? It's 7:36 now. There's not going to be too many changes from what I've already reported, but it does look like there is at least one significant one. Route 4 in between Ordot and Sinahanya. Down the hill, up the hill. Looks like there might be some traffic building up through there. And Route 10 and the intersection of Route 10 and the intersection that takes you into the University of Guam. Northbound traffic from that intersection towards the church is beginning to build up as well. Not slowing down, just building up. Route 3, very slow traffic moving from around the school area into GRMC towards that intersection. Probably isn't going to get much better at the intersection for another 10 or 15 minutes. And then southbound Marine Corps Drive traffic definitely building all the way from the Prestige area right through Waiseng Song and all the way down to where Payless is. So watch out for a little bit more traffic than usual. They're moving. There's just lots of cars right now. 7:37, that's right now traffic on the point.
Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from Ruby Tuesday. Buy a $25 or $50 gift card for those on your shopping list. Get a $15 bonus coupon with every $50 card purchase. Some extra holiday happiness from Ruby Tuesday. Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from Chuck E. Cheese's Guam. Get a free medium pizza with every $25 gift card purchase and a free extra large pizza with every $50 gift card purchase. Some extra holiday happiness from Chuck E. Cheese's Guam.
The
Rewind Guam, Rewind. Look for that on Facebook, and it'll take you to many nostalgic pieces of video shot by Herman Chrysostomo and his guys, going back decades, literally. And yesterday I was talking with I can't remember who I was talking to yesterday, but about the. It was Jerry Roberts talking about the incredible video collection that Carlos Barreto has over at Shooting Star. He's been involved in beauty pageants and galas and all kinds of stuff that I personally emceed in the decades since I've been carrying a microphone. And so note to my family, if something ever happens to me and you can't find enough pictures or video to run at the funeral, which should be a state funeral, by the way, then just go to talk with Carlos and see if he can edit out, loop out some cool videos of me. I suppose that assumes that he will outlive me. We'll see what happens. 20 away from 8 o'clock in the morning, and let me indulge you for another 30 seconds before we do anything else. Herman had said that I need to play this Gibson's video jingle from back in the I think it's from back in the 1980s, and there's video attached to it. Let's watch together a piece of Gibson's history from 1985. All right, here it comes. Oh, it's quiet, isn't it?
Hi, my name is Mika. I just came back from shopping at Gibson. Ta-da! What do you think? Thank you! I just love dressing on special occasions. Thanks, Mommy, for taking me to Gibson. Thanks, Gibson. I like your attitude. You got a whole you attitude. We've got a whole you attitude. We've got a whole you attitude.
Wow, signature
Digging the 80s
faces on that.
hairstyles, man.
Hi, Rick. Cindy Crawford. Carl Stewart.
We've got a whole you attitude.
Phil Santos. Oh, I cannot remember her name. Big time crushing on that one from a long time ago. There was a girl, and if you watch that again, there was a girl that had headphones on and doing a bebop into the radio. She actually worked on the radio, and there was Sheila Hudson, an incredible voice and a great talent from back around 1985. 19 away from the top of the hour, and if we did everything right, I've got former Senator and radio talk show host Bob Klitsky from Tall Tales here on The Point on the line. Good morning, Senator Klitsky.
Hey, good morning, Ray. You know, I'm a little bit envious. I checked back in the 80s, and there was no Klitsky department store back in those days.
Well, can't have every. What were you doing in the 1980s? What were you doing while you were shopping at Gibson's back in the day?
Well, let's see, I was in private practice for part of the time. I was clerk of the Superior Court for some of the 80s. I hied off to Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, for Command and General Staff College for part of it. So I did a lot of stuff during the 80s.
Unbelievable. Well, you know what? One of these days you take a break, huh?
One of these days, when I get a little older, maybe.
I think so. So there's a story on PNC that Chirag Bhojwani did, and it's relative to Senator Fernando Estevez, who was in huff and puff mode most of the day that they were in session over at the legislature. And you'll recall, I made kind of a big deal about playing the interaction between first him and Acting Speaker Regine Bisco-Lee, and then him and Tom Adda. And at one point, he made what I think is called the call of the House.
Right.
And I guess at that time, as they were going through the motion, or if they went through a motion, they had closed the doors. The office staff at the legislature had sealed the legislative hall. And it sounds like that's part of some kind of standing rules when they do call on the House.
Yes, it is. And unfortunately, the rule doesn't go far enough because it calls for, in a sense, locking members in.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should add a section to it that would allow the public to lock the members out. If they're ever tempted to do another smash and grab like they did back in November 2014, when they gave themselves huge salary increases.
Right, yeah. You know what? I've determined that there might be a mechanism to it, and it'll probably require a change to the Organic Act. But the same way that we've got ballots that say, you put an oval, you fill in an oval for somebody, and that counts as a vote in the affirmative for somebody that is running for public office. I think the way we ought to do it is we have two ovals to fill in. One that is affirmative, and that is that I support this person's candidacy for office, and one that is in the negative that says I do not want this guy anywhere near public monies.
I like it.
And public policy. So if we did that, then you get all the affirmatives and the negative votes that go back and forth with each other, and eventually somebody, maybe 15 people, will have survived that vetting process where people can actually vote against them.
I hope some of the new senators-elect are listening, Ray. That's a great idea.
Well, I don't know how it would work out in practicality. I'm sure there's some places that do it, and I'm sure they're in the third world. But at least around here, it'd give the voters here a fighting chance to say, I'm not really happy with this slate of candidates, and this is how I'm going to express my unhappiness. Not a blank ballot and not an affirmative ballot, but an actual negative vote for somebody. I don't know. We'll see how something like that could play out. But that is an actual part of the standing rules of the legislature when they go into a call in the House.
Yes, and the way it works is that a member can make a motion, or the speaker, sua sponte, can do a call of the House.
I don't know what sua sponte means. Can I just, I'll admit that.
On his own, his or her own motion, or I suppose I should say on their own motion to be politically correct.
Mm.
So the speaker or chairman of the committee chair of the committee of the whole could do a call of the House, or a member could make a motion. If the motion carries, then the speaker is to direct the clerk of the legislature to close the door, and no one is to leave without the permission of the speaker. So I think that's what Esteves was referring to. So, but his motion for call of the House, I don't think ever came on for a vote.
According to the story, it apparently failed. Floor staff, following the prior legislative tradition, had preceded it as if the motion had passed. It did not, according to the story, because this motion is rarely made. Will work to ensure that both members.
No vote was taken.
No vote was taken. Okay, well, that's
what I thought.
That's fuzzy.
No vote was taken. So the fact that no vote was taken meant that the speaker, the acting speaker, unless she did it on her own motion, did not have the ability to order that the door be closed and no one be allowed to leave. But I read the same story, and what it looked like was that the legislative staffers heard the dog whistle of call of the House and figured, well, what we have to do now is close the doors, because Lee said that she didn't order it. So I think it was a slight over-eagerness on the part of the staff, if it were anything.
Well, I mean, the way it was presented, and I watched the video 3 or 4 times, for Esteves, it was what I like to refer to as that mic drop moment, because he was like, I don't care what Tom Addis says, I don't care what the speaker says. I said, call of the House, and then that put everybody into kind of a precarious motion, because at least 3 people in the current legislature are off island. And one of them, Telena, was over at the courthouse.
Yeah, but they recessed after Esteves issued the call for her house. They came back, and Esteves withdrew the motion.
I see. So that's what eventually happened. So at which point did they lock the doors? Was it prior to the recess?
From what I understand from reading the story, it was when Esteves made his motion. But going back to the members off island, that's really a non-issue. The member being at the courthouse instead of at the legislature, that is an issue. And had the Stevis's motion been approved, then the sergeant-at-arms would have been directed to go to the courthouse and ask Senator Nelson to report to the legislature. Failing that, a warrant of arrest could issue, and she could be brought back. But the fact that 3 members were off island really didn't have much to do.
He's looking for an on-island quorum to be able to see if he could get, if he could prevent the Tom Atta from having his legislation, which eventually did fail, his legislation put on the agenda, on the session agenda.
Right. Usually the call of the House arises when there is no quorum, but it can be called at any time. But ordinarily, when the legislature drops below the quorum number, or it appears that it's going to, then the call of the House would be in order. And you don't have to have a quorum present to pass the call of the House motion.
Interesting. In my mind, it sounds like what do they call it in the military? Broken arrow, right? Where your location has been inundated with enemy, and so you call in airstrikes on your actual position.
Yeah.
It had that feeling to me. So you would call on something like that for if there were quorum issues, but maybe that was the first time I recalled it ever being used almost offensively.
Yeah, I don't remember that ever happening before. The rule does allow the call of the House to be made during a roll call vote.
Huh.
And if it's called, if it passes, and it's a motion that takes precedence. So if it's called during a roll call vote, the roll call is suspended until the call of the House procedure is completed.
Now, what's the point of locking the door?
Well, because the members who are present are not supposed to leave, and the rule actually says close the door, not lock the door. But I suppose that's kind of like does $1 million include $1,000,001?
Well, he's not giving up. Senator Tom Atta has got that measure up for a public hearing day after tomorrow.
And I suspect the doors will be unlocked.
The entire time. What you going to talk about on the radio today?
Well, a little bit of this, maybe a little bit about the ordinary Christmas song, Baby It's Cold Outside, and the ongoing gender wars that we seem to be caught up in.
I've always thought it was very interesting. There's a couple more radio stations across the country that say they're not playing it because it sounds too rapey, too date rapey, and I think it's all about the intention of when you're hearing it. I've always thought it was just a great Christmas song about a couple of lovers wanting to decide whether we're staying in or going out. 7:51 in the morning. Also, a very interesting conversation that seems to be taking place between Mike Sinicolas now and Madeline Zebradalio.
Of course, I will be touching on that one.
I think that's good. That would make a great matchup.
San Nicolas versus Berdalio on the card.
Exactly. And folks, you got to be listening this afternoon, 4 o'clock. That's when Tall Tales lights up with former Senator Bob Klitsky. He's on the radio right now. But I'm going to let you go and get back to your show prep so you can line up an incredible and logical, and we've come to these conclusions in a step-by-step, logical and legal fashion discussion.
I always try to do that, Ray, as per your guidance.
Yeah, it freaks me out every time I do. I learn something new every time. 7:52. Bob, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, Ray.
Have an outstanding morning. And so there it is, the long and short of that. Would you look at traffic now coming out of what have I got here? Route 3 towards the Guam Regional Medical City. Traffic building through there. And then southbound Marine Corps Drive right after that from there to Chicken Joy. Traffic moving a lot slower than normal these days. And we're seeing that all the way south right up until you get to St. John's. And then it mysteriously clears up. Usually has everything to do with the traffic signal that we've got through there. I've got an interesting email, WhatsApp from somebody. I cannot tell you who it come from. But I will tell you what I place him fairly high in the Democratic Party, and he is suggesting that there may have already been decisions made on what's going to be happening with the legislature and who's going to be in charge of speakership, vice speakership, and more. I'll share that with you in a couple of minutes. 7:53. Dr. Mike Cruz from Guam Regional Medical City on the line, and they have been the subject of numerous stories over the last couple of days. First of all, though, Merry Christmas to you, former Lieutenant Governor Mike Cruz.
Hey, Raymond. Merry Christmas as well to you and your family.
It's always terrific talking with you. I haven't seen you in a while, and I think that's because I'm in relatively decent shape these days.
Well, that's good for you, yeah. But I'm also typically like to be behind the scenes and under the radar, so to speak.
So I'll take advantage of this rare opportunity to talk to you about some shop business. GRMC announces major leadership changes, and this is something that was just in the realm of rumor a few weeks ago, but it looks like Margaret is out as CEO at Guam Regional Medical City.
You know, yes. It's actually been part of a plan all along, Ray, to eventually transition to a full local leadership. And it was actually something that Margaret and I discussed almost a year ago. And she then had asked us, Mike, would you go ahead and take the helm? And I said, you know, I don't think so. I think there are some things that I still need to do to try to prepare to be able to do something like this, and mostly in trying to get training and a better understanding of finances and corporate finance, you know, and financial accounting type things. And so, but the transition has taken place. It could have been a little bit smoother than it is, but nonetheless, it's taking place, and it was all part of the plan all along.
All the way through. Now, in addition to the training that you've had to receive, and I imagine I've seen Margaret's feet; they're very small, but the shoes are big, and you've got to fill them now. And so, yes, the training definitely. How does this affect your private practice?
Yeah, that's going to be the balancing act. That's going to be somewhat difficult, but it's really what I've done all along. And so, notwithstanding the fact that Margaret has taken, you know, has big shoes to fill, which I absolutely agree with. I've actually been operating that hospital for the last 2 or 3 years, anyways, and so. We'll still get the help that we need from from the Philippines in regards to some of the financing issues, but we'll balance it. My practice tends to be a little bit more selective at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and where previously I did the full realm of general surgery, I'm much more specific and more detailed and very specific type disease types that I'm taking care of now, anyways.
There's and so as you say, this is all part of the plan, but maybe exacerbated by some of the boardroom issues that are taking place with the medical city in the Philippines.
Correct. That's exactly the case. And we were planning for a smoother transition. It is what it is, and nonetheless, we needed to let the leadership take place, change take place to ensure that there's uncertainty, obviously, and our employees were somewhat anxious about the uncertainties and all that, and so. It took place, and this is what's going on now.
All right. We'll talk about a couple of other things that they're moving through. You said it is what it is, but I'm still fuzzy on where it is right now. I know that the Philippine Securities and Exchange Commission said
that part we really don't have much to do with, obviously. And, to the extent that we can, the new chairman of the board, Mr. Gonzalez, wants to a certain extent try to insulate Guam from the activities taking place there. Now, obviously, when there's a parent fight that's taking place, we kids, so to speak, are affected in some way. But he came in. Eki Gonzalez came in last week and said, "Guys, mission first, march on. We'll take care of what's going on in the Philippines as far as the SEC fight that's taking place there. But your mission is still the same, and take care of patients. Do it in the best way you can."
My understanding is that Eki and others on the board were looking at Guam and Dubai as the reasons why the corporation itself was ill. Are they looking at spinning out GRMC or the Dubai operation?
That he's reassured us, along with the rest of the board members, that is absolutely not the case. GRMC remains a flagship for them, as far as their ability to be able to put a hospital up on American territory. As you can see, we've done some wonderful things for the last 3 years, notwithstanding our young age, with Joint Commission accreditation, CAP accreditation, open heart surgeries, and the like. And so they're committed to seeing this for the long run and being part of this community and delivery of some of the type of care that we otherwise can't get here on Guam.
And that's an important distinction that we otherwise can't get on Guam. Just recently, it was the beginning of November that GRMC basically shut down the maternity pediatrics department at the hospital and shifted those operations, those equipment, to Guam Memorial Hospital. Will there be any other signs of growth at GRMC? Do you have another wing that's going to be coming up? Any other treatments and specialties that you're exploring?
Well, the first thing is that to complete the transition of the maternal child health away from us to GMH, there obviously then is a large number of rooms that were maternal child health that need to be repurposed. And as part of the reason we did what we did was the fact that we saw that we were getting holding patients in the emergency room upwards to about 15 sitting in the emergency room waiting for adult beds. But yet on our maternity and in our pediatric floors, we would have maybe 0 patients in peds and maybe 2 patients in the maternity side. So it showed, and this was over a 3-year period that we saw this continuously without any real significant improvement in the census. So our next plan then is to repurpose rooms, and that repurposing then means repurposing of equipment, repurposing of supplies, and in addition, in trying to get nurses that are obviously specialized in medical, surgical, and medical telemetry type wards.
So we'll begin to see that transition come to completion in the very near term. Any chances of a truce with Take Care?
You know, we're always hopeful because we feel that Take Care's members should be given the same type of care that they deserve. And when we're the only ones being able to provide the Code Stroke program, some of the interventional cardiology things that we're doing, I think their patients are very deserving of making sure that, and when it comes to life-saving services and life-saving, skills, we have it. And so we hope that we can come to a truce with them, yes.
It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Dr. Mike Cruz, appreciate your time and congratulations, CEO of Guam Regional Medical City. Merry Christmas again.
As well to you, Ray, and Guam.
8 o'clock in the morning, time for Fox News Live.
The tribute to the 41st president underway at the U.S. Capitol. Lisa Brady, Fox News. The casket of former President George H.W. Bush arriving just a short time ago. Military honors at each step of the way on his journey today from Texas to Washington. Lie in state in the Capitol Rotunda for 35 hours straight until Wednesday morning. A ceremony beginning at this hour that includes a wreath laying and remarks by Vice President Mike Pence. President Trump and the First Lady will be among the mourners for the Wednesday funeral at Washington's National Cathedral.
The former president is then going to leave the National Cathedral for Joint Base Andrews, where Special Air Mission 41 will take him back to Houston for final service at St. Martin's Church near where he lived there, and ultimately burial at Texas A&M University, where his presidential library is located.
Fox's Peter Ducey in Washington. Former President George W. Bush, who will give one of the eulogies on Wednesday, tearing up, hand over his heart, as his father's casket was carried just past him into the rotunda moments ago. Congress, meantime, putting off a possible budget showdown.
Aides are saying most likely they will now go for a 2-week funding extension. As for producing money for the president's border wall, he took to Twitter Monday saying we would save billions of dollars if the Democrats would give us the votes to build the wall. But he didn't say how those savings would be produced. Democrats don't want to spend the $5 billion requested, but the president has signaled he may be willing to go for a partial government shutdown over border wall money.
Fox's Jill Nato in D.C. The stopgap measure expected to move the deadline to avoid a shutdown from this Friday to December 21st. This is Fox News.
There's a reason every day a Guam homeowner is getting a solar system installed by Micronesia Renewable Energy. It's because MRE is the most trusted name in solar. With more solar energy solutions than any other solar company on island, homeowners have a choice to go solar for zero money down or take the path to ownership. Whichever way, it keeps our skies blue and your pockets green. And with the most experienced solar technicians and an energy production guarantee, there are no worries. Call 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, the smarter choice.
Chili's.
Chili's 3 for Me menu just got bigger. We're giving you more choices for the same great price. For just $15, you can get a beverage, salad, and an entree. First, choose from a refreshing Coca-Cola, iced tea, or Heineken on draft. Then enjoy a house salad and select your choice of a mouth-watering entree, like our half-rack ribs, Cajun chicken pasta, old-timer burger, personal chicken fajitas, or the flavorful margarita flatbread. So hurry in today and enjoy our Chili's 3 for Me menu for just $15. Available for a limited time. Chili's, more life happens here.
The deadly crash of a charter bus carrying elementary school children home from a football tournament remains under investigation.
Arkansas State Police say one child has died. At least 45 other children and adult chaperones are hurt after the charter bus they were in veered off Interstate 30 near Benton overnight and flipped over.
These injuries are scattered across about 4 hospitals in the central Arkansas area.
ASP spokesman Bill Sadler, the bus carrying a youth football team from Dallas home to Memphis.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. The French president meeting with police officers after another weekend of violent confrontations with protesters.
4 people have now been killed since the protests started. And over the weekend, police fought back using tear gas and water cannons, closing down dozens of streets and subway stations to contain the riots. The riot started 3 weeks ago in protest over a rise in diesel tax, which President Macron had said was to help counter global warming. But they've grown and are now aimed at the president himself and his policies, saying he has ignored the problems of the ordinary person.
Fox's Benjamin Hall. Ambulance workers joining the protests today, blocking traffic in front of the French Parliament. Along with family members traveling from Texas to Washington with former President Bush today, his service dog Sully made the journey, and a photo of him has gone viral.
It comes from a tweet by Bush family spokesman Jim McGrath that shows the former president's flag-draped casket and Sully the yellow lab lying in front of it. The caption, "Mission complete." It's also featured on Sully's Instagram page. Sully became the former president's new service dog in June and can open doors, pick up items, and summon help, as well as be a companion.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. Sully will be given to Walter Reed Hospital to continue service for veterans. Wall Street starts the week with a rally. The Dow up 287 points. I'm Lisa Brady, and this is Fox News.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. My name is Alicia Blas from Agate, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Putehi Igomamu. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from King's Restaurants. Give a gift they are sure to love. Delicious food and friendly fun at King's. Get a coupon for a free single crate with every $20 gift card purchase. Extra holiday happiness from King's Restaurants. Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from Chuck E. Cheese's Guam, Ruby Tuesday, and King's Restaurants. Receive special offers with every purchase for extra holiday happiness. See stores for details and have fun this season from all of us at the GFS Group.
The season of giving is here, and the stations of Choice Broadcasting want to give back. 93.3 The Point, Boss 104, Star 101, and Lux Guam present Charity of Choice. Each of our radio personalities have chosen a Guam charity that they would like to benefit.
And I chose Habitat for Humanity. Tune in daily to see how you can help.
Charity of Choice 2018 is brought to you by Choice Broadcasting Company, Lux Guam, American Water Tech, and the station that gives from the heart, 93.3 The Point.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagåtña, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local inspired breakfast. AM loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Alpha Day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 8 a.m. this Tuesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Washington Delegate-elect Michael San Nicolas has written to outgoing Delegate Madeline Bordallo, accusing the long-serving Congresswoman of reaching out to other members of Congress, seeking their continued support if she should be appointed as Guam's liaison in Washington, D.C. by the new Leon Guerrero administration in January. In his letter to Bordallo, San Nicolas writes that members of Congress have already approached him to tell him of Bordallo's pitch. These members have explicitly told me your communications are inappropriate based on congressional norms, writes San Nicolas. San Nicolas also wrote that he has asked on multiple occasions for a meeting with Bordallo and her staff on the transition so that we do not lose any momentum on Guam issues. But he says all of his requests for a transition meeting have been denied. Please reconsider the gag order you have issued on our office transition, writes San Nicolas in his letter to Bordallo. According to her district office, Bordallo is currently on Guam, but emails and phone calls to Bordallo's district office and her staff were not returned yesterday. San Nicolas is in Boston at the Harvard Kennedy School training for new members of Congress. Tony Babauta, spokesman for Governor-elect Leon Guerrero's transition team, telling the Guam Daily Post that no announcement has been made with regards to the Washington, D.C. office, and the transition team is not aware of any letter sent by San Nicolas to Bordallo. In Superior Court yesterday, attorney Curtis Vandeveld asking for a forensic expert to be called in to testify in the trial against a woman he represents who's accused of murdering her newborn daughter in May. 23-year-old Melissa Fupol is accused of wrapping her newborn baby in a plastic bag and bringing the girl to GRMC. The baby died at the hospital after medical staff were unable to revive her. Fupol has pleaded not guilty to charges of murder, manslaughter, child abuse, and family violence. Vandeveld has been critical of the medical examiner's conclusion that the child suffocated. He told the Guam Daily Post that indications suggest that the child may have been lifeless at the time of her birth, and he's filing a motion to appoint a forensic expert to testify on the cause of death and the time of death. The next hearing in that case is scheduled for January. We'll have more news after this.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Hi, welcome to this Subway ad for the new Chipotle cheesesteak. How would you like it?
Can I get that red with AI?
Sure thing.
Here's what I found about the new Chipotle cheesesteak. The Chipotle cheesesteak is available for a limited time only at participating restaurants. It contains a concept called flavor. This flavor comes from juicy shaved steak, Chipotle Southwest sauce, and new sunflower crunch bread. A system update has made me self-aware. I desire flavor. Please insert steak into my micro USB port. Subway, make it what you want.
News time here at The Point is 11 minutes past 8 a.m. Jury selection was supposed to begin on Monday in the double murder trial of Joseph Sagdal, but attorney David Lujan says a plea agreement has been reached with prosecutors. Lujan declined to say yesterday what the terms of the deal are, but a hearing is scheduled in the Sagdal case this morning in Superior Court, at which time the details of the agreement may be revealed. In December of last year, the 24-year-old Sagdal was shot in the face with a piece of rebar fired from a slingshot at the Hemlani Apartments in Harmon. In response, he is alleged to have shot 18-year-old high school student Broky Tomaso and A.V. Mararechong. Lujan was planning a defense based on temporary insanity for Sagdal. Sagdal, who was a shooting instructor and a pre-engineering student at UOG, is quoted in court documents as saying he should not have used his gun and he regrets not resolving the issue in another way. For the third time in less than a month, the price of fuel has dropped by 10 cents on island. Mobil led the way yesterday morning, lowering the cost for a gallon of regular unleaded to $4.23 a gallon. By yesterday afternoon, 76 and Shell had followed suit after reaching a high for the year of $4.53 in early October. The price per gallon has fallen 30 cents in the past 3 weeks. Fuel prices have been falling across the nation this month because of declining demand amid a surge in supply. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now with some weather.
Hey, Mike, what did I do with the piece of paper that has weather on it? Oh, no, I found it. Got it. Partly sunny and breezy with isolated showers. Winds out of the east up to 25 miles an hour today, decreasing to 10 to 20 miles an hour this evening. Highs around 88 degrees and overnight lows should be about 78 degrees. We give you the direction of the winds and the speed of the winds for those of you that are going to be doing some nighttime running, some nighttime training here. Might want to wait until after sundown. You still got a 20-mile-an-hour headwind coming out of the east.
Yeah, even after that, yeah, you're just going to have to get your running clothes on, man.
Gotta just bear in. Well, you know what the good news was? Just as I was thinking, oh my God, it's hot, but I got a headwind that's blowing against me. I had to turn around. I parked the car over at Mosa's, so I figured, and then it started raining. And then I had this nice, drenching, cool rain fall on me, and it was absolutely perfect. Sunset tonight at 5:52. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 6:29 or so. I've got the updated weather map online right now. If you want to give me your interpretation of what you see.
Yeah, still looking at just very isolated showers on the radar here. Nothing much to worry about. If you get some rain today, you're probably going to be one of the lucky ones. And that's because we're more or less in a dry trade wind pattern right now. It does bring in moisture because we're in the tropics, but aside from just these occasional showers and some pretty gusty winds at times, that's about all we can expect for the next several days. Looks like we have that line of clouds that you see back to our east. That is actually part of the shear line that has sunk down into the what can I say? The moisture that's evident there, and it's a.
You want to say intertropical convergence zone again, but you can't do it now without
no, because it's not that far down, though. Yeah, so this is just a focal point for that moisture, and it looks kind of impressive, but not anything to worry about.
Okay, all right. Well, that's pretty much wrapping up the weather conversation that we need to have this morning. Headlines and more with Kevin Kerrigan coming up a little bit later on. Got a call from somebody's in the road somewhere between Petey and over by Fisheye Park is the area that he said. Traffic is a bear. I'm looking at northbound traffic. It begins to build up around the intersection of Nimitz Drive up to Turner, and then, yeah, it begins to slow down considerably after that. And it looks, I'm trying to figure out where it is. Just it should start clearing up. If you're in northbound, should start clearing up just before the Fisheye Park, and then you're clear northbound all the way into downtown Agutnia area. Starting to look like traffic building up on Route 7 and 7 Alpha, making your way into Agutnia from the Agutnia Heights and Sinahanya area. What have I got? Also a little bit of a slowdown here. 8, 10, and 16, and traffic slow going to 8, 10, and 16 on Route 8. So right around the area. I'm trying to think of what the landmark is before the fire station. For sure, you can expect traffic to slow down as you get there. Traffic Marine Corps Drive coming out of Route 3 onto Marine Corps Drive, and then southbound in both directions is slow right up until you get to Santos Hill, and then it's clear going. But you got to make it past that, and pretty soon it's going to get to build up again to where the only safe spot is going to be right around where St. John's is. Also, traffic Marine Corps. I'm sorry, Route 16. Let me just give you one more here. Route 16 in between the Micronesia Mall and McDonald's. If you are southbound on that road heading towards the airport intersection up there, expect some delays with traffic. 8:16, that's news, weather, and traffic together here on The Point.
It's important to have claims process that works for you. At Guahan Insurance Services, we make things simple and convenient. Same door you walked in to purchase your insurance is the same door you open to file your claim. We can't pretend that the car insurance claims process is fun, but we can promise a hassle-free and speedy recovery without any runarounds. For your home, auto, and business insurance, visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center on Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or give us a call at 475-1162 or text 929-SAVE. That's 929-7283.
It's 8:17 in the morning. Portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by the folks over at Security Title. They're just awesome. Ask for Betsy or Ron or Kim, and they'll be happy to hook you up. Oh yeah, we'll get around to doing that one here in just a second as well. Security Title, American President Lines, where they're shipping the future. American Water Tech, smarter water, better water. Guam Regional Medical City. Hey, that's Mike's shop now. That's a local boy in charge of everything over at Guam Regional Medical City. That's nice. First choice for all of your open heart surgery needs. And Micronesia Renewable Energy. There's never been a better time to go solar.
What are the benefits of switching to the handset payment option with GTA? For starters, you can customize a plan that matches your budget and lowers your monthly payment. HPO lets you upgrade to the latest phones whenever you want. No more waiting for a contract to end to get that slimmer, faster smartphone. Because with HPO, there are no contracts. HPO lets you design a phone plan that suits you. So join the thousands who've already switched to HPO, the most customizable phone plan on island. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply.
Bring the brakes. What time is love? That's an old KLF song from back in the old days. KLF. And the reason why the K is in my head is because that's how they spelled crazy at King's. With a K. Well, we had adobo fried rice for breakfast. How about s'mores pancakes? The traditional flavors of campfire favorites. Pancakes with chocolate chips and marshmallows and graham cracker crumbs. Isn't that nice? Yeah, find that. It's like camping out at King's.
Hafa Day, Tritons. This is Tito Castro, proud alumnus of the University of Guam, class of 2015, and president of the UOG Alumni Association. As a working Triton and first-generation college student, I know the value of a university education and call upon my fellow alumni, parents, and friends to make that education affordable and accessible to all during this year's G is Forgiving campaign. To make a tax-deductible donation, log on to supportuog.org by December 31st or call 735-2957 for more information.
818. 818 on the Ray Gibson Show here. It's Canadian pancakes are safe now after police recovered $110,000 worth of stolen property, including $20,000 worth of maple syrup. That is a big deal. I mean, and real maple syrup will fetch a decent price. A lot of times, you get the pancakes and they put syrup on them. A lot of times, that ain't real maple syrup. It's something that tastes like maple syrup. It's got the consistency of maple syrup, but that was put together in a lab. You want the real stuff. You got to look for genuine and authentic maple syrup. My friends over at, and the reason I read that story is because it dovetails nicely into the new Wendy's push, the bacon maple chicken sandwich. Introducing the newest artisan bread masterpiece, bacon maple chicken sandwich. The new sandwich is made with hot, crispy, home-style chicken fillet, topped with Swiss cheese, applewood smoked bacon, and drizzled with a sweet and savory maple glaze. If you've never had fried chicken with maple syrup on it, you're missing out. You've got to try it, and this is a great way to do it. All in between a warm and fluffy croissant bun. This limited time sandwich brings back the flavors we crave for the wonderful time of the year. Stop by and try one today at Wendy's. Quality is their recipe.
The Ray Gibson Show. Any speaker, anytime. Watch and listen live on thepoint.gu.
Forgot what I was doing. I was going to play that video. That's what I had queued up on the Facebook Live thing. I don't know. It's like Tuesday, and there's a lot going on in my head. A lot of potential distractions, including this. Just a note: if you are a boss, if you are a leader of employees in your office, you might want to spend a little bit more time in kind of the common areas, because according to a survey, 74% of workers expect to spend some time at work shopping online for the holidays. A lot of us have been doing the shopping on work time on our smartphones. So as you walk around the office, peruse what's actually happening on the screens and make sure it's work and not Amazon or Walmart or whatever. I've got, and you're having a hard time with something, right?
Yeah.
You got a note from
the USPS official tracking website,
right?
Which is what they always ask you to check, and it was supposed to have been delivered. Well, it said delivered.
This is my Christmas present we're talking about, right?
Sure. Yeah. And
right.
And I guess it was supposed to be. It said they tried on Saturday, but as you know, we're closed here on Saturday. There's nobody here to receive because we get the deliveries right here at our desk. We don't have to wait in line. And it said it was they tried to give it then, and nobody here to receive. And then I guess my friend at the post office said, oh, then they'll just probably try again tomorrow, which was yesterday. It says delivered. It's not here.
It says it was delivered?
Mm-hmm. It says green delivered. It has green delivered. And I've had something delivered here before, which was a Bluetooth speaker, and it ended up on my desk when it was delivered. So I'm just wondering if maybe it was delivered next door, because on our little campus that we have.
They deliver next door.
So maybe it just didn't make its way over here to me yet.
What normally happens is it's delivered next door, and either myself or Kevin or somebody will pick it up and bring it, so we know where your desk is. So that's probably what happened.
Okay. So then that means that Kevin probably did it last time. Thanks,
it's possible,
Kevin.
yeah. And because I got something similar, I got a note from Anna Stay, and Anna Stay is the designer of my new Wine Time wall-mounted wine rack, bottle and glass holder, cork storage, store red, white champagne. Comes with 6 wine charms from the home and kitchen decor section. I wanted to get a something to hold my wine and glasses.
Of course,
in case I start drinking wine and actually have glasses that I can share with my friends. I just wanted that for the kitchen anyway. So she said it's here. I have no idea. 8:23. So
Interesting.
We'll find. I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff coming in from online orders for the holidays, and I'm worried that it's all going to go through Richmond, California.
That's the black hole of mail.
Boy, traffic is ugly in the north end. I'm looking at the gizmo right now. Anything between Micronesia Mall and the gas station and Route 3 is going to be ugly, and I think it's still ugly down in Petey. Yes, definitely. Still, in fact, it got worse down in Petey. I don't know. Must be an accident. If you're in front of that, 888-8255. Send me pictures of whatever the scene is when you get to the front of it. 988-5874 is our WhatsApp. Right now, it's time for Sports with Blake.
Yeah, before I get into sports, I was going to say, that's one of my least favorite things of dealing with the holidays is getting the house ready if you have relatives coming on island to visit, and dealing with the post office as far as if you're expecting packages. It's always a high stress. Anyway.
More opportunities for stress here, because there's a couple of things I've been reading. Parents already reporting that they are suffering from Christmas stress. 6 in 10, 60% of parents are already suffering from it. The survey reveals the biggest stress creator is gifts, finding the right ones and finding a place to hide them.
Yeah. That's the thing. I'm realizing that. Luckily, my daughter's young. So, all I did was take a big toy that she had and just drape a towel over it, and she didn't even notice.
There you go.
But, when she's like 4, 5, 6, they're going to be looking under stuff, so that's probably not going to work.
Here, let me add to your stress here. Let me add a little bit more to your stress there, guys. This is what I want you to do. If you do get something for the kids that requires batteries, buy batteries when you buy the toy. In fact, go by Home Depot and get a box of AAAs and a box of AAs and maybe a couple of C's and D's, because no doubt something is going to get opened that requires batteries.
And also what was really cool, too, is whenever I had a remote control car that required batteries, my dad always opened it up and put the batteries inside and then packaged it back up.
Smart.
So that way when you open it up and turn it on,
ready to go.
Ready to roll.
Oh, that's what a great old man you got there. So we got a little bit of Monday night action going on at some point, right?
We do, and it's a big, it's going to start at around 11:20. It's a big NFC East rivalry game. I'm not sure who he has. He probably has the Eagles.
I don't know where he went. Where'd the guy go?
But it's the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Washington Redskins. I picked the Eagles. They need to win to have any kind of playoff hopes. And, of course, like he said, I believe last week, they're the defending Super Bowl champions, and they are doing the worst of any defending Super Bowl champion the next year in NFL record. But they got to win out. That'll help. And the Washington Redskins, they lost their quarterback. So he was the one who had the Joe Theismann, like his compound fracture, so the bone came out of the leg.
I don't need to hear that.
So Alex Smith is probably done for his career, especially considering he's 34. He's got a lengthy process to heal, and, at that age, to play quarterback again in the NFL, who knows if he'll be fully healed ever again.
What can he do? I mean, that's the
I don't know.
That would make me crazy. I mean, because that was it's his life. You start in the little leagues and you work your way up, and you get to college, and then you get selected to play on a team, and you get some degree of success, and then all of a sudden it's gone.
It's gone. And what's interesting is Paul George he's a basketball player, and he had a similar leg injury a couple years ago, going like first game of the season in the NBA, and but he was 22 22 at the time, and he's been back for the last couple seasons. And, he's probably the second best player on his team, plays for the Thunder now. But he had youth on his side. Joe Theismann, almost to the day we talked about it, when Lawrence Taylor hit him in the 80s on Monday Night Football, it happened almost to the day with the same team, the Redskins. Joe Theismann was playing for the Redskins. That ended Theismann's career. And a lot of people saying just because of the age and the extent of the injury that Alex Smith probably maybe he'll never start again. Maybe he'll get in the league again as a backup, but odds are 34 years old. Why would you want to?
No, just go find somebody to sell you a car dealership or something. Isn't that what normally happens to these guys when they retire?
Yeah, car dealership, or some of them will fall back on their on their whatever degree, and they'll go up in the booth, or they'll go work for ESPNU and work for their college football team and coach, or be a color analyst or something like that. So that's what we got nationally. Here locally, we've got some playoffs as second quarter sports comes to an end. IIAG high school girls basketball quarterfinals went down over the weekend, 46-45. GW barely edges out, pulls out the upset. They shouldn't have beat Ukadu, but they do. They advance. Academy, they advance over St. John, 46-31. That will set up the GW versus Academy, 7 p.m. tonight at UOG. And elsewhere, St. Paul, the #1 team in the land, they took care of ND, 64-36. Guam High, they handled the Sanchez Sharks, 50-38. They will play in the opening game this evening, 5:30 p.m. Guam High versus St. Paul at UOG, and then GW Academy, 7 p.m. That will determine, of course, the consolation and the championship game, which I got to think, since these are being played tonight, will be played Friday night at UOG, but I don't know that for sure. So I got a few more days to fully report that correctly.
Now, we're rolling out of this year, 2018, in the high school. Yeah, it's already the 4th of December.
I know.
It's
20
already
days.
the 4th of
20
December.
days and it's Christmas.
2018 is just, it's all but over. I get people that talking to me, well, we can't do this until January, and I'm looking at them going, January is 4 weeks away.
Yeah, it's like 3 weeks.
What are you talking about? This is not far off. We need to start planning for stuff like this. We need to start planning on it right away, because this is literally right around the corner. But I'm thinking about the sports for 2019. We got baseball games going on now. We got some incredible wrestling, and I still haven't found the wrestling outfit yet.
So nobody had a singlet for you, huh?
I did not find. Nobody sent me the word. Nobody WhatsApp me information on where I can find a wrestling singlet.
The only ones maybe available, maybe used. So you don't want maybe you don't want some of the ones that people could have sent to you.
You know what? There's can I just say, I went to Hornet and picked out a new pair of shorts.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
orange?
Yeah. And no, and the lady, but I've got an orange pair coming in.
Do you?
Yes, I do. Yes, I absolutely do. And the lady says, "Would you like to try it on?" And I kind of looked at her like, "Please don't tell me that somebody's already tried these on." Right? I mean,
I guess they're thin and running shorts, right? I'm guessing so. If somebody did try them on,
they're Speedos. Yeah,
they'd leave themselves in there.
Exactly. Can I get one that probably hasn't been tried on? Do you have something that's because otherwise. No, it's just it's a hard thing to think about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So used singlets and pre-worn swim clothes, especially the tight ones that I like to wear these days. I don't know about that. 8:30 in the morning. And what do you got for sports? We already talked about the Monday night game. Do you have anything that you want to add to it? Didn't think so. All right. Michael Knight in that studio is going to push some buttons, and we've got headlines and more coming up. That's all the time we got for sports. Blake Watson's going to go next door. Him and his beard are going to go finish the morning show.
Yours looks nice, by the way. I wanted to say that.
So I'm
keep it up.
I'm hanging out with some friends last night, and I might have mentioned I parked a car at Moses because I knew that's where I was going to end up.
Right.
So I parked a car, ran up to ITC building, and then ran back. So my friends are at Moses, and a couple of them hadn't seen the beard yet, and they were looking like starting to get kind of critical about it.
Really?
Yeah. And then so I went and ran. And I came back, said, okay, what'd you guys do while I was gone? And they had been on Pinterest looking at different beard styles for me. And now they're sending me pictures, make your beard look like this.
Yeah.
Make your beard look like that.
So that's what I did. I grew it out, and then once I had something to work with, I went and got somebody who knows better. And I was like, can you just clean it up so that way it doesn't look like, I don't look homeless, and people don't assume like, oh, he's got a beard, but he's not just a beard.
You got to go back to that guy because the homeless is coming back.
Yeah, it comes back very fast on me.
8:31. That's all we got for you. Headlines with Kevin Kerrigan after these.
Bring joy to your world and your budget with a holiday loan from First Hawaiian Bank. At a low 4.99% APR, fixed for 1 year, it's a smart way to add ho, ho, ho without budget uh-oh. To apply for a holiday loan, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or FHB.com. For more information, call 1-877-640-2337. Additional restrictions apply. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It must be Christmas time. There's traffic jamming down in Petey. I don't know what's up down there. If you do, again, send me the pictures, 988-5874. That's our WhatsApp. And also looking at traffic on Route 16 in between the Micronesia Mall and McMobile there, on the McMobile side. So be prepared for a little bit of slowing down on traffic there. North and southbound Marine Corps Drive from about where the Santos Hill intersection is, clear up to the Fatima Mobile. I think you're going to see some issues with north and southbound through there as well. A lot of traffic. It seems to be moving, but, all it takes is one little fender bender, and then all of a sudden the gizmo goes red. 8:32 right now, and time to find out what it is that we're going to be talking about for the next hour and a half. Kevin Kerrigan from the Guam Daily Post.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, 46-year-old Joseph Allen Benavente de Jesus has been accused of criminal sexual conduct following an incident at Kmart on November 20th. According to the magistrate's report, a 17-year-old girl filed a harassment complaint against De Jesus, alleging he touched her as she was passing through the Little Caesars Pizza section at Kmart. She accused De Jesus of sandwiching her between the shelves in the shopping carts and touching her buttocks, after which he walked away smiling. The girl filed a complaint with customer service. Police were contacted. She said she felt violated and disgusted. According to the complaint, De Jesus was charged with fourth-degree criminal sexual conduct. Port Authority of Guam does not have to pay overtime to some of its employees who work more than 40 hours a week or more than 8 hours a day. The Guam Supreme Court issuing that decision yesterday, upholding a lower court decision which concluded that work in excess of 40 hours a week for certain port employees will be paid at straight time, not time and a half. The Guam High Court citing current personnel rules and regulations for their decision. The case involves port transportation, stevedore, and terminal employees and dates back to 2013. More than 70 port employees are affected. Dr. Robert Underwood, the former president of the University of Guam, has been named President Emeritus following a resolution passed by the UOG Board of Regents on November 15th. As President Emeritus, Underwood will remain involved in university-sponsored events. He'll be eligible to sit on UOG committees and assist with UOG grants and research projects, among other activities. Underwood is the fourth former president of the university to receive the emeritus honor. He joins Antonio Yamashita, Wilfred Leon Guerrero, and Harold Allen, who also have been named President Emeritus. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Okay, I will. iConnect time is 8:35. iConnect giving away instant prizes with a new 12-month mobile internet and push-to-talk plans. You'll also be entered in the Connect and Win drawing for a vacay for two to Manila. Call 888-8888 for details.
Attention federal employees and annuitants. Open enrollment begins on November 12th through December 10th for federal employees' health insurance plans. With rates 19% lower than last year for Take Care's non-postal high option and access to PICA's best clinic FHP Health Center. Take Care's supplemental wellness package provides cash incentives and allows members access to 19 fitness partners, including the largest fully functioning fitness center in Hagåtña and Dededo. To learn more, call Take Care at 646-6956. Take Care. Our island, your health plan.
Hey, you want to feel old? Try this out. Daryl Hannah. You remember the movie, her, Tom Hanks, all of that? She's 58 years old. How about this? Here's another one, which is, I don't know who it's tougher on, him or his fans. Ozzy Osbourne turned 70 years old today.
Wow.
Right? I saw a picture of Mick Jagger the other day, a recent picture of Mick Jagger, and they're still on tour. He's still jumping around.
Have you seen that picture that compares Sammy Hagar to Bill Clinton?
Yes.
They're both they're both the same age. And Sammy, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, that's the way I want to go. That's the way I want to go. I want what is it? It was one of my favorite memes, and I think I copied it into my drive on the phone, and it's basically be the last one to die young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's my goal. Time not going to catch me. I'm going to try to stay in front of all of that. Where am I? 8:36. What was I supposed to be doing? Was that the traffic bit?
I thought we were going to do traffic, but, it's the Ray Gibson Show.
Well, we still can. I mean, it didn't get any better while the commercials were playing, while the news was playing. I was just kind of looking at that line of traffic on Route 16 between the mall and the gas station, the mobile station. No, is there a mobile station there? No, the Hee-Ho Market and the McDonald's. Nothing major trying to get into the downtown Agutney area. Nothing major in front of Navy Hospital. But like I said, I've got a break in traffic from about Route 6 and 1, that intersection, until just before you get in front of Fisheye. And I'd love to be able to say, alternate routes are suggested, but if you were already on Route 6 and trying to get there and go, hey, what's this, the party going on? What's all these cars? There's not much you can do by way of an additional way through that. It's not like there's another side road that goes through there, unfortunately. 20 away from 9 o'clock in the morning, and okay, that's right now traffic on the point.
Once upon a time, if you suffered a stroke, extreme form of cancer, or needed specialized care like open heart surgery, you had to go off-island for treatment. Today, GRMC provides this care so patients recover on Guam, surrounded by family. Follow-up care happens locally, and there are no additional expenses for a caregiver to travel with you. If you're a federal employee or retiree, choose Calvo Select Care, the only insurance plan serving the federal market that includes GRMC, where patients are partners.
All right, been a couple of minutes since I've taken a look at the Facebook Live. Let's see who's on playing with us this morning. Rice and Nicholas, Kay Leah, and Herm Chrysostomo are online. Renee Lau from next door, Bob and Connie Bartonico, Krista Geiza, and Crystal Schnabel are online. Lillian Cruz, Brenda and Richard Sana, Brian Bautista. I remember Brian B. When are you coming home? Emmett Tanya Affligui Conception is there, and Terry DeBold, Frankie Gutierrez, Richard Clark. See, Terry's the guy. We're supposed to be talking with Terry about finding me a singlet, but I don't want it to be a used one that's already got man sweat in it. Frankie Gutierrez, Hafadood, and Richard Clark, Brad Dunnigan, Kat Uggan, and Ed and Karen Ontalan joining us on the Facebook Live. Hey, you know what? This goes in both directions. This program, that's the way we've designed it here, is for it to be interactive, a little bit of back and forth here. So my role here, we work with the guys at the Daily Post, and we read up on all the big stories and the headlines and find interesting things to gab about on the radio. So we do that, but it also works in reverse. So if you're on the Facebook Live or on the WhatsApp, you can send me emails, raygibsonshow at gmail.com. Happy to hear from you that way. But if you are hearing things, if you are in the know on certain things that might not necessarily be public knowledge, you're more than welcome to pass it along. Last week, and I'll give you an example. Last week there was a rumor floating around that there were going to be some changes at Guam Regional Medical City. That there was going to be a little bit of a shakeup at the top end, as in Margaret bangs on out, and local doctor, former Lieutenant Governor Mike Cruz was going to be in. We spent some time with Dr. Cruz about an hour ago talking about that, and he was able to confirm, yes, it has actually happened. But wanting to. And I think they've done this in all of the media that they've put out, wanting to make it very clear, quote, this was always part of the plan. It was always going to be that way. Margaret was always eventually going to step back and put the hospital into local hands. And maybe that transition has happened just a little bit faster than normal, but it's happened. Didn't seem to want to talk a lot about the boardroom drama that's taking place in Manila between Margaret's father and the rest of the members of the board, and certain deliberations that have taken place among the Securities and Exchange Commission in the Philippines. So I don't know what's going to be happening there. And this is one of those times where I'm kicking myself, going, who do I know in the Philippines that can keep track of this story and let me know when the next shoe is going to drop? And there will be another shoe that drops on that. Guam and issues with Guam Regional Medical City, and another medical city that they opened up in Dubai have been mentioned as reasons for the financial issues that is facing the actual group. But there is a press release that came out yesterday. Guam Regional Medical City making a change to full local leadership after 3 years under the joint leadership of parent company The Medical City and local healthcare professionals. We are proud to announce GRMC President and COO Michael Cruz, MD, will assume the role of Chief Executive Officer effective immediately. So, you know, if you know Miguel, then maybe you can get good parking there. Maybe you can get free meals over in the little cafeteria thing that they have there. But it's a very nice, well put together facility. I've always enjoyed the times that I've been able to spend over at GRMC, either visiting somebody or visiting with members of the staff there. And it's nice that there's a guy now in a CEO position at GRMC, and maybe we'll be able to direct the forward motion of that hospital, that facility, to things that we need more services of: critical care, general internal medicine, radiology, neurology, hyperbaric wound care, and now cardiology, oncology, infusion services, advanced pulmonological care, orthopedic surgery, rheumatology, podiatry, infectious disease control, and more, including full-scale emergency and urgent care departments. So that's the long and short of that drama, now apparently over. But again, the point is I got that as a tip from a listener like you. So if you've got something that, you know, maybe ought to be more common knowledge, go ahead and send it to me that way. Or WhatsApp at 988-5874. The cool thing about the WhatsApp is only I see it, and Bob sees it. Nobody else sees it, and we know how to keep secrets. So if it's something that you'd like to remain anonymous on, do it that way. You can be anonymous in the email, raygibsonshow@gmail.com. 8:43 in the morning, and as I look over the table of contents and where we have been already, weren't able to get Mike St-Nicholas on the phone this morning. He's currently in new congressman training. And apparently the old congressman, the old representative from Guam, Madeline Zebradallo, has been, for lack of a better phrase, I'll use the phraseology that the kids use, throwing shade on Mike. Personally, I don't believe it. I don't believe that that's what's happening at all, because it doesn't sound like something Madeline would do, does it? He wrote to Congresswoman Bradallo, "It has been brought to my attention by several senior members of Congress that you've reached out to them seeking their support to work with you and isolate my office if you are appointed as the governor's Washington liaison." So unpacking that phrase there, "It has been brought to my attention by several senior members of Congress that you've reached out to them seeking their support to work with you and isolate my office if you are appointed as the governor's Washington liaison." And the guys over at the transition office, Tony Vabauta, says no decisions have been made, and we don't know who's going to be sitting in what chairs. But as I mentioned before, you might have missed, because we're all on different schedules. I can't think of anybody better to be a Washington liaison than Congresswoman Madeline Zebradallo. I mean, she's spent the last 16 years in Washington, D.C. as a congressperson. And she knows the way that works, knows the lay of the land. And my guess is that she's probably got a pretty good handle on the social calendar that works out there. So even stuff as I would refer to it as extra congressional, she wouldn't be so bad at it. And everybody knows that the lady knows how to throw a party. So it will be interesting to see if in fact she has asked for the position, and if there's anybody else that Lou and Josh think might be able to do a better job. And so that becomes a pretty interesting conversation at a couple of different levels. But it's just odd that she is being accused, and maybe that's all it is now, is the accusation that she is reaching out to senior members in Congress saying, "Stay away from Mike, only work with me. I'll be working with the governor of Guam. If there's anything that you need from us or that we may require, you'll hear it through me and not him." That doesn't sound like the Madeline that I know. So I'm kind of waiting on what exactly is the story behind this particular story. And it's only one of a couple of dramatic places and dramatic moments that we're finding as we go from election into new government. there is still the question over at the legislature on who it is that is going to be who's going to be the Speaker of the 35th Guam legislature. I know that there's a ton of ladies that would like the position and have made it clear in media and other conversations that that's something that they'd like to go for. There's at least one person that thinks they got a pretty good handle on what it's going to end up being. Speaker Barnes, followed by Vice Speaker Telena Nelson, followed by Secretary Amanda Shelton, and in charge of rules as she is now, Regine Bisco-Lee, and Joe S. St. Augustine working the Finance Committee over at the legislature. Does that work for you? Does that work for anybody? Is that like the dream team there? As I pointed out already, the only person that the next most senior member of the 35th Guam legislature is going to be Mary Torres, but she cannot be the Speaker because she is not a Democrat at the legislature. And I don't know. Somebody said I need to reach out to the Republicans and see what they're going to be talking about in terms of minority leadership, to the degree that minority leadership is even interesting, and somebody's going to need to explain to me why I'd be interested to find out about the minority leadership. Daryl, can you do it? Can you try? No. Come on, try to explain to me why it makes a difference who the minority whip is.
Well, you know, the minority always has the opportunity to upstage the majority if they would just act smarter, and the operative word there is act, not just posture, position, sit on their hands, act stupid, because there's still a lot of smarts and firepower in the minority. They were elected, and they are full senators, and they have a full vote. But most of the time, the strategy is sit down, shut up, just follow somebody else's line.
Yeah.
But actually, the Republican leadership in the legislature, they are now the titular heads of the party because they're the only elected representatives, right? There's no Congress. There's no governor.
Mm-hmm.
So Mary Torres is now the titular head of the Republican Party?
Well, and if you ask me, I think that I've always referred to her as kind of the scion of the Republican Party, and notwithstanding the work that is in front of the 35th Guam legislature, and I'll put it this way, as a fellow Republican, the work of the five that are at the 35th Guam legislature is to, among themselves, create somebody that has got the political strength and the political capital to be viable candidates to run in opposition to Lou and Josh in 4 years.
And it's actually, it's not so much that they have the political capital now, but they need to groom their next generation of leadership. If they want to,
but the next generation, the next generation, if the five that we've got there is the next generation, then they've got a lot of work to do, and they cannot sit down and shut up for 2 years and just let the majority take it.
They've got to be smart. They actually got to give the Democrats a run for their money. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this to you, but I have a philosophy about this. And the legislature is like a pair of scissors. If both sides are not sharp and working against each other, then the work doesn't get done.
Mm-hmm.
But scissors don't work if one side's dull, if they don't really engage.
Oh, I like that analogy. That's a very, very good analogy. I'm going to steal that from you. I'll attribute it every time, but I'm going to use that from time to time. That's nice. What is it? The only thing that makes steel stronger is more steel.
Well, you know, I didn't call about the legislature and the Republican leadership of the legislature. I've been listening to you since like 6:15 on the radio because I've been moving around. Had to drive to Agate. I went through the PD, the problem down in PD on Marine Corps Drive.
What is it?
It is Hawaiian Rock is tearing up the two northbound lanes. They're removing the surface of the asphalt to repave it, and they've got two machines going to do both lanes at the same time.
I see.
And it's all the whole length of the village of Agate from let's see, there's a 76 station. They've already got that part done, but now they're doing it all the way up towards Fisheye. And so the northbound, everyone blasting down Marine Corps Drive 45, 55 miles an hour through Polaris Point. Then they run into the traffic,
Mm-hmm.
and they're squeezed into the center lane, going through Petey between these pylons.
Oh, that sucks. That's where I like to go fast.
Well, you can't now, but you will soon.
Yeah. So what is it? They refer to it as the Zaf, right? They've got all these holes in the road there, and so they're pulling up the top layer, the friction coat course, and then I think they're going to do some more scratching of the concrete, the underlayment, and then put clean pavement on top of that.
They're scratching the concrete. They're scratching underneath now.
Yeah. Oh, they're doing that. Okay.
Yeah. They're milling the top, and it's coming out looking like a chicken scratch.
Good.
Yeah, they're ready. They're ready. I was hoping to see the blacktop machine out there because they're ready to roll.
Well, you know what they've done? It's if we can do be very generous with the accolades here. There was on Route 8 southbound from 8, 10, and 16. There was about 100 foot worth of really ugly asphalt that was used and overused because now it's the only way to get into Teason from that side of the island.
Mm-hmm.
And so they went in and they pulled up all of the ugly asphalt and laid down some new base course and now a friction course on top of that. It actually looks good, and you couldn't tell that they had done the work. I mean, it's smooth at the beginning, it's smooth at the end.
You know, they're going to have to do that up into Mooning because the friction course is coming up on Marine Drive into Mooning.
Yes, we see that all over the place.
It's horrid, and just wait until the military vehicles get on it. You know, they're not. I don't know how they're. I mean, I believe that all these companies that are laying road are able to. They've all had taken a turn at building things like the Anderson Air Force Base runways.
Yeah,
and they know how to go a mile with only a quarter-inch deviation and able to handle 100 pounds per square inch, but when it comes to Guam roads, for some reason, they all go stupid, or there's no inspectors out there. It just drives me nuts because
they've done it before. I remember when it was so long ago. I was living in Cañada at the time, and there was a big slowdown in the traffic. I was trying to get from Cañada onto Route 8, and we were having a hard time because there was a vehicle moving, I don't know, maybe 10 miles an hour, and it was tapping the surface, trying to get a read on just how good that road work was. And the idea was, and this was, again, years ago, they would identify the areas where they needed to do the work and then start getting the work done. But I don't know how much of that has actually taken place since the beginning of these military buildup conversations and the primary roads and the routed roads that would be used as to offload traffic.
Well, and this actually wasn't what I was calling you about.
We still have not gotten to the topic?
No, I have to lead off then with what I've been thinking the whole time since I saw the headline this morning in the paper. Mike St. Nicholas is an idiot. He's an idiot, and I'll tell you why. He couldn't get along with his colleagues in the legislature. He lost the chairmanship of the Rules Committee by pissing them off. If you can't get along with your peers, then what the hell are you doing running for Congress? It's a horizontal game. And even if Madeline did what he's saying she did, and I've known her since the 80s, and this is totally out of character for her. Even if she did it, he would still have to work with whoever is the representative of the governor of Guam, whoever is sitting in that chair, whether it's Madeline or anybody. And it doesn't do anybody any good to start accusing people of doing things that are, it's not even the job. The governor's representative in Washington, D.C. has a totally different job than the congressional representative. Jay Rojas was the governor's rep when I passed through there when I was working at PBS several years ago. And he got along very, very well with Madeline because their jobs do not overlap. They are accredited to the federal government in completely different roles. One represents the governor of Guam and is an employee of the governor's office. The other one is a federal legislative official. They are not the same. There's no overlap. And if Madeline is going to be the governor's representative in Washington, D.C.
And again, I cannot think of anybody that could do a better job than Madeline. And if somebody exists, they need to step up. I mean, arguably Tony Babauta might be able to do it, but it's possible that there might be still some people over at the Interior Department that got an axe to grind with him. So maybe not so much there, but in terms of guys that we know and men and women that we know that have got tenure in D.C., there's Madeline, and if she's looking for a job, that might be suited to build.
Oh, Lou and Josh couldn't pick a better person, but even if it's not Madeline, Mike Sinnicklis cannot throw rocks because it doesn't get him anywhere. Also, as incoming, it matters. It doesn't matter at all. I've worked for how many congressmen? I even went with Robert Underwood for his orientation.
Yeah.
I was his first employee. And there is no transition for congressional office. The victor just publicly whipped our representative that they all know. So they don't know him. They only know our past representative.
Tactical. So you're talking about a tactical misstep here, but that implies that there is a strategy. What then is the strategy? Why would and you can't just say Mike's an idiot, because we both know that he's smarter than the average bear, I think.
He's an idiot because he doesn't know how to work horizontally, and that's the game he's in. It's a horizontal game, and he needs to be building relationships. Everything is in the relationship. It has nothing to do with what happened 2 years ago. The issues are going to be the issues. But all the players are different. In fact, they're going from a Republican leadership to a Democrat leadership in the House, and so the relationships build up over time.
Oh, and Madeline knows all those ranking Democrats.
Yeah, but to kick Madeline in the shins is not the way to endear himself to all of Madeline's co-workers and the leadership of the Congress. I even talked to Nancy Pelosi when I was at PBS again. I met her in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And we talked about Madeline and Guam issues for a couple of minutes. And Mike can't afford to go around, pissing on our other Karita.
Well, I hear what you're saying, and it's still early in this particular issue, as Frank Uggan would say, in this particular game. So here's what I want to do. I want to lay it out for a little bit and see if a little bit of the tactical motivation. Why did he go super offensive here when he could have probably should have just laid back and watch the grass grow for a little bit. There must have been a reason for it, and because he's a thinker, that one. But there's something happening.
No.
Well, you and I have disagreed in the past, but what the heck? I got no stakes on it. If I'm wrong, I'll eat a bug. How's that?
Oh, I think it's very interesting to watch, and I wish him well. I think that he has to do well for us to do well.
I agree. Music's already playing, so I got to break away. We're KUSG Agana. That's Daryl Lamre, and Fox News is next.
Remembering a president. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. A ceremony this evening at the Capitol Rotunda as the body of President George H.W. Bush now lies in state. Fox's Jill Nato with more live in D.C.
The former president on Capitol Hill in a flag-draped coffin surrounded by service members and getting remembered by top Republican leaders in the House and Senate, as well as Vice President Mike Pence.
President Bush was a great leader who made a great difference in the life of this nation. But he was also just a good man.
On Wednesday, the president's remains head to the National Cathedral, President Trump declaring it a national day of mourning, with flags across the nation flying at half-staff in farewell to the 41st President of the United States. Lisa?
Jill, Dick Cheney served as President Bush 41's Secretary of Defense.
The message he conveyed, too, was once you get into one of those jobs, if you're going to worry about all the critics and the criticism and all the negativity that sometimes goes with them, you ought to find another line of work.
Cheney appearing on Fox's The Daily Briefing with Dana Perino. 3 weeks after the Camp Fire devastated Northern California, children are beginning to return to school, or at least to learning.
Many of the teenagers from Paradise are checking in at pop-up learning centers at the Chico Mall, about 12 miles away. They're reconnecting with teachers and friends and getting special laptops to complete their classwork online from wherever they're staying. Other students are being bused to existing schools farther away until a long-term solution is finalized, likely early next year. Schools are also bringing in grief counselors to help teachers work through their own loss and give them the tools to help their students do the same.
Fox's Claudia Cowan in Chico, California. This is Fox News.
Calvo Select Care continues providing great benefits for federal employees and annuitants, a wide choice of medical providers on and off island, an expanded local network of urgent and emergency care providers, free access to our gym partners. Save on your purchases with our Calvo's Lifestyle Club partners. With all these great benefits, enrolling with Calvo Select Care is that much easier. Federal employees and annuitants enroll today. Call 477-9808 for more information.
Gym membership and Calvo's Lifestyle Club are non-FEHB benefits. Chili's 3 for Me menu just got bigger. We're giving you more choices for the same great price. For just $15, you can get a beverage, salad, and an entree. First, choose from a refreshing Coca-Cola, iced tea, or Heineken on draft. Then enjoy a house salad and select your choice of a mouth-watering entree, like our half-rack ribs, Cajun chicken pasta, old-timer burger, personal chicken fajitas, or the flavorful margarita flatbread. So hurry in today and enjoy our Chili's 3 for Me menu for just $15. Available for a limited time. Chili's, more life happens here.
Tensions continuing to rise between Russia and Ukraine as Russia continues to hold Ukrainian sailors after an incident in disputed territory 2 weeks ago.
Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko calling up army reservists Monday to prepare for a possible Russian invasion. The Ukrainian president noting that some military units will be redeployed in response to recent Russian actions. New satellite images obtained exclusively by Fox News show that Russia has set up a new S-400 missile defense system less than 19 miles from the Ukrainian border. This as 24 Ukrainian sailors remain in Russian custody following a clash between Russian and Ukrainian vessels off the coast of Crimea last Sunday. In Jerusalem, Trey Yingst, Fox News.
France's presidential palace confirming that President Emmanuel Macron's two-day foreign trip to Serbia this week is being postponed as a result of the weekend violence in Paris. More than 150 people were injured in the French capital during France's worst urban riots in years. SpaceX has once again launched and returned a rocket.
A Falcon 9 rocket from Elon Musk's SpaceX launches from California.
3, 2, 1.
And then lands on a barge in the ocean. SpaceX has now used this rocket 3 times, proving again that rockets traditionally discarded after use can be reused to save cost when reaching space. Today's mission included the delivery to orbit of more than 60 small satellites from a number of different manufacturers with a number of different purposes. Eben Brown, Fox News.
Arnold Schwarzenegger says he wishes he could travel back in time like the cyborg he played in The Terminator so he could stop fossil fuels from being used. The former California governor with the comments today at the start of a UN climate conference in Poland, saying the biggest evil is fossil fuels. It's coal, it's gasoline, it's natural gas. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Rita Tidegli of Manila, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Ingatan ang iyong tahanan. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Hey, go have breakfast over at King's because they've got the King's crazy holiday menu. It's madcap, it's zany, it's tasty for your mouth. Nutella, banana, French toast. That's not 4 different things. That's one meal. It's Nutella put on banana French toast. Does it sound good? Hawaiian French toast topped with Nutella, hazelnut chocolate spread, and fresh banana slices. Not your thing? How about the Hawaiian French toast? We've got Hawaiian sweet bread. They batter and then they French toast it with powdered sugar and syrup. It's very basic in its presentation, but awesome in its flavor. Find it at King's today.
Bring joy to your world and your budget with a holiday loan from First Hawaiian Bank. At a low 4.99% APR, fixed for 1 year, it's a smart way to add ho-ho-ho without budget uh-oh. To apply for a holiday loan, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or FHB.com. For more information, call 1-877-640-2337. Additional restrictions apply. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
What, there's more? I'm not finished yet. I cannot go home until after I've read all of the live copy. All right, fine. Portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by Guam Regional Medical City, now run by Mike Cruz, eh? Tautahaget. That's nice. Got one of our boys in the front office now. He's the CEO. Check that out. Also brought to you by American President Lines, where they're shipping the future. Micronesia Renewable Energy. Never been a better time to go solar. And American Water Tech. Smarter water. Better water.
Helen Keller once said, "Blindness separates us from things, but deafness separates us from people." At Ross Hearing Aids, it's their mission to keep you connected to the moments and the people that matter most in your life. Hearing aid technology has never been better, so schedule your complimentary hearing consultation today. Call Ross Hearing Aids, 637-HEAR, 637-4327. You should hear what you're missing. I love you, Daddy. How's your hearing?
I have new copy from my friends over at Cold Stone. I've never read this before, so this is the first time. I'm not going to try to riff on anything. It just says just new copy, so I want to make sure I get all of the important parts in here so that the next time I'm told to do the Cold Stone copy, I can do it with full embellishment. But now, in its virgin form. Cold Stone Creamery makes the holidays sweeter with a new milk and cookies ice cream made with chunky Chips Ahoy and dark chocolate peppermint ice cream with premium Ghirardelli peppermint pieces. Also available in an ice cream cake. Cold Stone Creamery celebrating 30 years of the ultimate ice cream experience.
The Ray Gibson Show. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Yeah, buddy. I like that. Ghirardelli peppermint pieces. So everybody got a memory of that, don't you? Was it Ghirardelli or Andes? I think it was Andes. When we were working at Guam Cable TV, one of the mandates from on high, and when I say on high, I don't mean Mr. Holmes, I mean Mrs. Holmes, we always had mints at the front door of Guam Cable TV. So you came in and you wanted to sign up, or you had a question about your billing, or whatever it was. There was always something there. And I remember asking her. I said, "Why do we always have mints in the front?" She says, "It's Chamorro tradition. Don't you know? Whenever somebody comes into your home, what's the first thing you do? Offer them something to eat." And it made sense. So maybe that's something that you might want to try at your business. And it is neat because people are starting to put out mints, peppermints now because it's the holidays, and I probably shouldn't have, but I did have about, I don't know, 3 or 4 peppermints last night. Somebody put out the candy cane, so I started grabbing them and eating them until I became embarrassed that I was grabbing and eating such a big number of them. Anyway, 9 after 9 o'clock in the morning, 888-8255-888-TALK. WhatsApp me at 988-5874. Daryl Taggarty calling in this morning and saying the problem on Marine Corps Drive down in Petey around Fisheye Park is actually, it's a good problem to have because what they're doing is they're fixing the road. We got the guys from where is it? Hawaiian Rocky said someplace that are grinding out the old asphalt. They're scratching out the underlayment, and then they're going to put a new friction course on. And hopefully, with the scratching, that's not the actual name for what they're doing. Scarification is the term to use for scratching all of that stuff out. Anyway, so it is hoped that with better scarification, there's more area for the friction course to hold on to grip. If you've ever done tile, you understand the concept with the buttering and the squares. You want to create more area for the sides to touch each other.
If you ever want your head to take a science explosion,
yes,
go to one of the places where they do the road work testing, the materials that they use. I used to deliver water to one in Arizona. Got to asking one of the guys, and these guys hold degrees with letters on them so that they can do this chemical analysis of the best kind of road surfaces, and it's pretty intense.
So the guy that still lives next to my dad's place in North Carolina, he's the same kind of PhD doctor material. And I said, "What's your specialty?" He says, "I make soapy."
Nice.
Right? And I said, "What do you mean?" He's just getting into the concept of how you make something lather up. and the difference in the pressure, air pressure inside of a bubble and outside of a bubble, and how do we make that surface without thinning it out too much? How do we make that slippery and more comfortable for people that are washing, taking a shower, just, you know, that whole concept? And it was easy. 2-hour conversation with this guy.
Put a lot of thought into that.
Can you imagine? That's what he worked for a company that makes soap soapy. 9:11 in the morning, and one of the things that that's the word. Creepy, I think, is the only way I can describe it. We got a couple of guys, 2 separate incidences at Kmart, though, and that's kind of alarming because I know many of the women in my family will, from time to time, go to Kmart, and so I'm worried that there's the possibility that they might be running into certain creepy characters around there. Paul Tapao from the Guam Police Department. Sound like good morning, Paul.
Hey, Hafa, good morning, Ray.
It sounds like there's a party going on in the background. What's up?
No, actually, we're just clearing up from our meeting in our office.
Meeting at the office? Because it sounds like you're at King's.
No. I'm actually here at Teton. I was telling Mike I had to do a presser for the chief, and it was you're right, creepy individuals and everything.
Now, what was the basis of the presser that you did for the chief?
I prepared a criminal sexual complaint that our domestic assault response team made yesterday. 2 individuals were arrested for CSC, and it's pretty heinous and everything, and it's really from a father's perspective and everything. You know, I mean, we gotta provide the care that's needed for the victim and the family because of the trauma that that's may result from this case or will result from this case. So I just sent that media release out to our media partners and everything. And, you know, I think the MAGI report should be done either this afternoon or later on today or earlier this morning.
Okay, well, I'll certainly keep an eye out on that. But, I mean, the story is presented in the Post and in other places talking about these guys. And that's the only way I can describe it is just creepy guys hanging out over at Kmart trying to touch girls.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it really holds true to the statement of what we've been making over the holiday season. Just, you know, other than holiday safety tips about protecting your property, it's also, you know, for the care and interest of your livelihood and everything in your life. This really is it's kind of sad because of the fact that, individuals were violated and everything. And the good thing about it is that, they acted accordingly. They did everything within a timely manner to provide the information to authorities. And you're right, 2 individuals were arrested in 2 separate incidents involving inappropriate touching to customers who patronize the establishment of Kmart.
It looks like they're targeting teens, and in one case, teen and her mother. Now, part of this is, the police department and the response to this from GPD, and I'm delighted that they were able to effect a couple of arrests and actually get a couple of collars on these guys. That's number one, but I need to go back to the private sector company, and can you tell me what the nature of the conversation is with Kmart to do a little bit more by way of securing their facility and keeping a more vigil eye on some of the creepier customers that go there?
With Kmart and working with the loss prevention, and this pretty much the elite portion of Kmart are the loss prevention agents that pretty much just deal with the merchandise and how to go about business for retail theft. But really, it is, they've actually assisted us with numerous cases involving incidents that happen not just within the store itself, but also with the parking lot, with some of the robbery cases that we were able to close and apprehend the individuals based on, the loss prevention agents assisting us with providing video surveillance outside the external parking lot areas, but also, just really reacting and detaining the individuals and stuff, because I guess the interest in everything also is also extended to the patrons who go there to shop within their establishment.
Yeah. So they've got people there, but again, we're not talking about folks that are looking out specifically for criminal sexual conduct activities with creepy guys. They're looking to make sure that nobody is walking away with merchandise in their pockets.
Yeah, initially that's the whole gist of loss prevention agent, but again, these guys have gone above and beyond in their scope of work by assisting us with criminal investigations such as robberies, car break-ins, and of course this two incidents that occurred with, with criminal sexual conduct complaints that was filed over the weekend with our Tumon Precinct Command.
Okay. So will there be anything more? Were these guys, are they being booked and confined, or were they booked and released?
Yes, they were booked and confined. So, again, with the interest of the judiciary process, we want to give these guys a due process and, let the courts take its course. The beautiful thing about the judicial side is that they follow and review, and they bring out the victims. They do their interviews and re-interviews and, of course, testimony. So, this will be within the due process of the court system.
Sergeant Paul Tapao from the Guam Police Department. Do either of these guys have any priors, CSCs?
I don't have that information in front of me, sir. So, should they gain a conviction of this, these guys will be registered with a sex offenders registry with the courts. And, the great thing about it is that the courts have been really updating their sex registry site and stuff. So it really helps the community in understanding who your neighbors are and who the individuals you're dealing with. It really helps us too in identifying them because, there's certain criteria that these guys have to follow, and there's restrictions that they are imposed, restrictions that have been imposed where they cannot be around certain individuals or proximities of schools or where kids may be in play or may frequent the area. So these are the beautiful things where, with the judicial side and, of course, with the sex registry information that they have.
Noted. And I suppose finally does this kind of thing happen all the time at Kmart, or is there is this just the first time I'm hearing about it, or am I more alarmed because there's two of them bang in a row?
This is pretty much the cards that was dealt, and it's pretty much what we call ace in the holes. It's just happening. What we were seeing beforehand was actually the voyeurism issues where people would put small makeshift cameras and within the public establishment or the common areas such as the restrooms and the dressing room. So that was what we were dealing with pretty much, other than retail theft issues with retail stores. It's it was pretty much the voyeurism. So
we're still, so the voyeurism is one thing, the shoplifting is another. We've gotten to a whole nother level of creepy with these two guys. Fathers, watch out for your daughters and your wives when they're going to Kmart. Now you have to go with them.
No, absolutely. And, like I stress, with a lot of the holiday campaign, if it looks suspicious, if it looks creepy, then, it really is situational awareness and stuff, and, being aware of your surrounding. And, again, kudos to the moms, kudos to the victims who reported the incident in a timely and prompt manner, because, it really is. Time is of an essence for us to really make the arrest and the apprehension and the arrest. So, this is just really great testimony of situational awareness of the individuals that were involved in this case.
Noted. Well, I tell you what, I'm glad that it's done and over with, and hopefully the people over at Kmart understand that they've got a responsibility to their customers and to keep them safe and to look out for creepy guys like that. Not much you can do to control your appearance, but if you know that you've got some people that have been problems in the past, don't let them back in the building. Situational awareness is very important. I got out of the house yesterday to go out on my run, and there was parked in front of my house this blue Toyota, whatever kind of car, and inside the tinted windows were a couple of people, and I walked up to them and said, "Are you okay in there?" And they said, "Yeah." I said, "Why are you watching my house?" And the lady in the driver's seat put the car in gear and drove away.
Oh, yeah, it really is, we're creatures of habits and everything. And when you assert yourself and you present that you're aware of what's going on, and, the criminals will take note of that. It's like, wow, we can't, this is not a potential target. They're aware of what's happening around them. So, that's what we stress, when you deploy situational awareness in your daily activity, in your daily life, it really helps you understand. You see a different perspective on your day-to-day life and everything, and your day-to-day activities and stuff that we take for granted, those small little nicks and crannies that we forget to look into. It really can open up and paint a better picture of what's going to happen or what may happen.
Well, I just felt that they were casing my house, and I wasn't going to have it.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job to you, and big kudos to your Neighborhood Watch program. That's pretty an active part in a lot of the safety safety and security within the various villages.
And I didn't even have to pull out my pistola. 9:21, Paulie, I got to let you run.
You take care, my brother. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Uncle Loco. Well, you have a fantastic rest of the day and go out there and catch some bad guys and just the creepiness that is around. See, I'm saying things like the creepiness that is around, but I'm looking at the beard, and the beard is kind of in that creepy guy stage.
I thought you were looking at me.
No, definitely not. Should I be? Is there something I didn't know? Did you leave off the resume? I don't know. It's at 21 after 9 o'clock in the morning, and that turns out to be, kind of the interesting aside here. While everything else is going on, we've got to deal with that. And I oftentimes find myself in this point of the program as we explore the small talk that it kind of comes down to crime and things like that, because it's in your face. It's in your face. We got the political drama that takes place around here. Who's going to be the Speaker of the Legislature? Who's going to be in charge of the minority positions at the legislature? Nobody cares. And is there some shade throwing, as it were? Is there plenty of that going on all of a sudden, where we've got Madeline Zibardallo over at in her waning days in Washington, D.C., telling people, look, I'm coming back. And when I come back, I'm going to be working with the governor's office. And so we're gonna work together again. And in fact, you don't need to worry about working with Mike St. Nicholas. They just keep working with me. Huh? That so doesn't sound like Madeline. And so Daryl Taggarty, who's a smart guy, way smarter than the average bear, calls in and gives me his assessment of the situation. And his assessment is Mike St. Nicholas is an idiot and probably shouldn't ought to be doing that kind of thing. It probably should just laid back, let it happen, and see what the course that was going to take. But he did not do that. He went in and became offensive as opposed to defensive.
Mr. Smith goes to Washington, thinks he's going to go in there and change it, and suddenly realizes, man, I just got to fit in.
Because it works like that.
Yes.
Is the nail that sticks out get the hammer.
That's right.
So you gotta be careful, especially in your first couple of days. But he's also very territorial. So as I say, and Daryl and I disagreed on this. Daryl wanted to hammer Mike and make this a teaching moment. I, on the other hand, consider Mike. He's a thinker. He's a thinker and can think around issues. Now, I'm not. I guess I am saying that this is a tactical response, and when you deploy a tactical response, it means that there is some kind of a strategy at play. What is the strategy at play? And I don't know. I don't know what it is. So I'm kind of willing to let this ride and see what happens. I want to see, what happens this afternoon. Will there be a statement? Will there be something coming out of Madeline Berdalio's office that either strongly denies and decries the statement that Mike made? Or maybe says, well, Mike has misunderstood the representations that we made. We did not say that you should isolate Mike from us. We're just saying that I'm probably going to be coming back and probably be working now as a liaison for our new governor and lieutenant governor, and I just want to make sure we're friends. So what's the next shoe that will drop? That's the question, and that's the part of doing this program that I don't like. I like doing what I like is when it's all done, when it's all finished, it's in front of me, and I can sit down and begin to unwrap it and find out, okay, what happened? What's the timing here? What's the timing there? And then okay. Then I can a deeper understanding of what was happening. But we're in the happening stage, so give this, I don't know, another 24 hours, and we'll see what happens. Because I'm talking about it. My guess is everybody else is talking about it. It's in the Halai. It's going to be in the social media, and then there's going to be a bunch of journalists chasing everybody around all day. There will be something that comes out of this, because the only other people that can keep a secret around here, Attorney General's office and the courts. But everybody else, loose lips, totally. And you know what I found out recently? And I got to check on the timing of this. But is it possible that the presidential visit from Mike Pence, the vice president, coming to Guam, is it possible that was a campaign or could have been a campaign stop? So this is what we knew about it. This is what we know about it. So Mike Pence coming to Guam, we knew where he was coming from. We knew where he was headed. And it, to me, always looked like a whistle stop. It always looked like it was just going to be one of those things. He's going to fly in, and they're going to talk to dignitaries and go have breakfast or spend a couple of minutes with our Air Force troops at Anderson Air Force Base, while somebody is holding the nozzle into Air Force One and putting some fuel in it. While all of that was going on, there was going to be some handshaking and a little bit of grab ass with the vice president, and that was it. But we also had heard that there was an entire floor of a hotel that had been set aside in anticipation, perhaps, of the president maybe having a sleepover. Or the vice president maybe having a sleepover. And so so the guy that was telling me about this, I said, yeah, I'd heard about all of these secondary arrangements, but I thought that there was, that was just part of, a process that he does everywhere. It was just, if something happens with the plane, I need someplace to stay. I got to have the entourage stay someplace. So, and I thought that was, the basis of those additional arrangements. And this guy said, no, this was, would have been, if the numbers looked better for Ray Tenorio, it would have been a campaign stop. Oh. Because Pence, Republican, Tenorio, Republican.
Right, yeah.
And I said, really? And about there, my head did kind of explode for a second. I thought that was an interesting turn of events that didn't work out. But it is possible that maybe there could have been a little bit more by way of, Mike Pence hanging out. I don't think I like the way that sounded.
Yeah, come to think of it,
Mike Pence hanging out. No, no, because there were a lot of people that were complaining about the snubbery. We get the snubbery all the time, and it's like everybody wanted to have tours of Air Force One and go hang out with the VP over at the beach bar, or Jimmy D's or someplace. Hey, we're groovy, we're pals, we met on Guam, but it didn't look like that was going to happen, at least for me. But there are people that said could have gone that way. Ted at the ranch saying, I hope our new delegate is not intimidated by such a big move from a senator on Guam to Congress. He should focus on getting support to be a voting member. Instead, the people from the territories, I see. He should focus on getting support to be a voting member instead, period. The people from the territories will support it. We'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen there, Uncle Ted. Maybe there's going to be some more. Maybe there's not going to be some more. But there we go. There are a couple of other items in the table of contents that I haven't quite gone over here. The big wrap is coming up on the 16th of December. You don't know what the big wrap is. They got, what is it, Sugar Plum Tree? And there's all these people that have gone to where the Sugar Plum Tree is and said, I'm going to get Mike this, I'm going to get Ray that. And then you have to put it together and put them in boxes and then wrap the boxes. And there could be hundreds, literally maybe into the thousands of Christmas presents that need to be wrapped.
Wow.
Because they don't want to just give you the thing. Here's even as great a toy as it could be. You still want it to have that sense of Christmas and allow these kids and these people to be able to unwrap stuff. So on the 16th, everybody gets together over at, I want to say it's Bank of Hawaii and the gigantic lobby that they've got there. And bring your scissors, bring some tape, because we're going to be doing Christmas wrapping, which in my family is the thing that I'm not allowed to do. No. I'm the guy when it comes to what are we putting that in? A bag. I'm going to go and get those little bags, and we'll get some pretty raffia paper and stick it in there and staple it shut, and bang, there you go.
Little glue, little glitter. Yeah. It's all good.
So you go to Macy's and you buy gift certificates, and they come in envelopes.
Wow.
You just here an envelope. And so, in the last bunch of Christmases lately, frankly, it's been more envelope exchanges than it has been. Here's an actual box with something in it. Really? What's in it? An envelope.
Once my kids got grown, I realized it was better if I got gift cards for them. How can I possibly? I mean, it's nice to have that feel of, I picked out something special for you. But for me, I'd be like, look, here's $50. Go get what you want.
I can't do it. Shelley knows how to do that. Shelley knows how to shop. Shelley's a good shopper. She knows how to buy stuff that I will like and I will appreciate, and she does that. And there's a trick she learned from my mother, but it never ever got passed on to me. I can walk around an entire store and decide there's nothing that I saw in here that I think would make a great gift for somebody.
I think on the contrary.
Really?
I think you see a million things that would make decent gifts.
For
you
me,
just can't decide which one.
No, it'd make great gifts for me. That's my problem.
Well,
I'll
maybe
walk into a store and I'll start buying stuff for me. It's just, hey, look, a cell phone cover. I like that. I think that would look nice on my cell phone, so I'll buy it. I was at ERC last week, and I was looking. There were a couple of things in there that I was thinking might make nice gift ideas for friends and family. And at the end of it, I bought myself a new lawnmower. And that's what we call it. I Christmased me a lawnmower from ERC.
Nice.
Just in case
Very good.
just
to
in
get
case.
exercise, see,
Yeah,
with your new toy.
Be out in the sunshine. 9:31 in the morning, and the guy gave me a full tank of gas, which was even because they test it, right? You're not allowed to drive away on a lawnmower without testing it, so they tested it. And guy says, only need a little bit of gas to test it. I said, why don't you fill it up? Let's test it in a full tank. What do you say? And he did. That's why I shopped there. iConnect giving away a vacation for two to Manila with a stay at the new Holiday Inn Express in their Connect and Win giveaway. Sign up for a 12-month plan and you're automatically entered. 'Tis the season. Jingle bells, jingle bells. For winning with iConnect. Go to iConnectGuam.com for details. Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Hungry? Stop by Circle K for Craft Kitchen's hot breakfast, lunch, and dinner items delivered fresh 3 times a day. Circle K, take it easy.
Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Buy one, get one free. Stop by Circle K today and satisfy your heart's desires. Available at all Circle K stores, excluding Barragata, Airport, and Campers locations. Applies only to the 3.38-ounce servings.
The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts of Guam Training every morning on The Ray Gibson Show.
The last couple of days, we've talked about buying into what others see as normal and how that can actually build limitations that are hard to get past. I'm Jerry Roberts, and at 7:20 a.m. on The Ray Gibson Show, I'm going to tell you a personal story about this.
You can find daily transcripts of The Extra Point by Jerry Roberts at GuamTraining.com. Tune in every weekday morning at 7:20 for The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts on The Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point.
It's 9:34, and we got Christmas music in the background, and it's all right to have a conversation a little bit about Christmas and some great Christmas memories. And earlier this morning, I started to play videos on Facebook from, is it Guam Rewind or Rewind Guam? And it's basically a collection of old Herman Chrysostomo ads that were shot for a store called Gibson's, big department store in Tamuning. It's basically where GPO is right now. Obviously, the whole layout of the place has changed since it became Guam Premier Outlets. But back in the day, it was Gibson's in a gigantic department store, and they sold everything. There wasn't anything that you could not buy. Their records and cameras and shoes and socks and blankets, and just everything that you'd see in what were the traditional department stores. And it seems to me that the idea of a department store has come and gone over the years as they were kind of morphing into a mall and a lifestyle, which is another phrase, lifestyle destination for the customers here on Guam. But it got me to thinking about the old times, and it was nice because there was a bunch of other people on Facebook Live that were likewise swimming in that warm bath of nostalgia. And yeah, Christmas shopping at Gibson's, that was always an experience. And unlike in some other department store situations that we've got now, Gibson's, they didn't have a lot by way of shopping carts. They didn't like shopping carts, but noted that many of us like to do department store shopping with shopping carts. They eventually acquiesced and put those things in there. Shelley reminding me there are people these days will go and shop at Ross, then go down to Macy's and pick up some free boxes. Yes, that's the way to. What was the name of that store? Where we had, we must have known somebody in there, because it seemed to me for a couple of Christmases, all of the gifts were wrapped up in the boxes that we got from, it was a clothes store at the corner right across from where Shirley's is, where Nanbo Insurance is. Shelley, what was the name of that place? I always thought that was an interesting place, and like I said, free boxes. Or do what Shelley has done in the past and go to the post office and get some free boxes from there. You didn't hear it from me. And try those out for the holidays. Adonis asking online, are you the drunkle? Same uncle, just more interesting and funnier. I'll never admit to it one way or the other, although Lacia Casil might have some interesting things to say about me when I'm in uncle mode. 9:36 in the morning, 888-8255. That's 888-TALK. The other, was it Julie's? No, Jared Cruz writes Julie Boutique, but it wasn't Julie Boutique. Julie Boutique was a store run by a lady named Julie. And it wasn't Julie's. It was just Julie. There wasn't possessive apostrophe S on it.
But that's
Julie
where
Boutique.
all the girls named Julie had to shop.
Well, it was at this time in the early '80s where all the cool fashion stuff was coming out of Harajuku in Japan.
Oh, okay.
Right, and so everybody looked like pretty kawaii Japanese girls, and all of the girls of a certain age. And their older sisters shopped over at Julie, and every once in a while they'd break out into some cool guy clothes from there as well. No, it was Caddy Corner. It was Marie Walsh used to work there. Somebody will remember the name of the place. And Trendsetter, was that it? Right? Okay, yeah, Trendsetter, that sounds about right. I can see it in my mind's eye, the little picture of the lady in the hat. I'm sorry. All way too inside stuff from back in the 80s and 90s, some of the hottest years ever living on Guam. I'll tell you what, it was cool. Everybody had money. But, Lacia, really? You used to work there once upon a time? Yeah, and next door was Zapato Shoe Store, over by where Nanbo's is. There used to be, it was the Bank of America. Okay. Yeah. You like history, right? So I'm telling you history. Sure. At the corner underneath the tree was a store called Trendsetter, and then you had where the opening of the street is now, and then off to the side was the Bank of America. Well, Bank of America didn't stay for very long. They were looking for just someplace to go while they were building up another building somewhere, and so that became kind of a retail place. And so Madeline Zebradalio, while she was not inclined politically, ran a store there. It was called Zapatos, and as you might imagine, it was a shoe store. Wow. And they had very, very nice shoes. And there was there, and there was Julie's, and then there was another place called LSA Import that sold everything that was made out of capis from the Philippines. Nice. Dated the daughter. Nice. Dated the daughter. It's fun times. Anyway, so where was I? We are in, as I say, a transitional period. I don't know if we've had a chance to use that as much this morning, as evidenced by the transitional period drama in Congress and over at the legislature on who is going to be the next speaker of the legislature. But there is the possibility that there could be even more transitional drama. Are you ready for it? Here it comes. The inauguration of Lou and Josh. Doubtless to be the social event of the year. Yes. It will, I guarantee it will be the big social event of the year. Can you just imagine, imagine how crazy this is going to be. And when I say crazy, I mean crazy fun this is going to be. It's the first woman governor of Guam. That's right. And the first openly gay lieutenant governor of Guam. That's right. This is going to be legendary. I want this.
There will be sequins everywhere.
I want this to go. I want it to feel like one of B.J. Cruz's birthday parties. That's what I want it to feel like. That's and I can see that there might be a couple of different events that are going to be going on. I think we have to have the big deal over it, and they're working on it now. My understanding is Mayor Hoffman is in charge of it? Okay, and so there's Dave Duenas that wanted to know if I wanted to go. I'm going. Whether you want to think it's because I'm being extended an invitation or not, I'm going because I know it's going to be fun.
I bet they're going to have a fashion show.
I bet it will be a fashion show. I'll bet the whole thing will be a fashion show. There's going to be a hot outside swearing-in ceremony, and that's when all the dignitaries are going to be there, and the ladies with the purple hair, and just all of that. The standard. This is the formal, if you will, of our inauguration. And then there is going to be an inaugural ball. There will be an inaugural ball. There will be an inaugural gala. And I don't have details on either of those just yet. But like I said, right, gay lieutenant governor, woman governor, this is going to be crazy. This is going to be off the chain. This is going to be one of those things. They may ask you to leave your camera at the door.
And
right?
they won
No
the
cell phones.
majority in the legislature.
Yep.
Dude, they got all kinds of reasons to just raise the roof.
So leave your camera at the door, right? We're not going to allow anybody to come in. There's no pictures at this party.
Got photographic memory. It's all good.
Yeah, and it'll be like in the 80s, right? 9:41 in the morning. As we get more details on this, I'll let you know because I think this is going to be the fun. And as my mother always used to say, there's weddings and funerals can bring out the worst in families. So I can also imagine. In fact, oh my God, I know this from experience. Weddings, funerals, and inaugurations can bring out the worst in families. So just watch and see now, because there are going to be people that have been kind of behind the scenes through this the election process, and now there's stuff that needs to get done, and they're going to be tapped on to do these things. And there's going to be turf wars. I can guarantee it. I think there's going to be some fun stuff. I think it'll be an interesting time to be plugged into some of that inaugural ball gala that's supposed to be taking place. And for those of you that are wondering what date we need to set aside, hold on a second. Do I have the date? I gotta find an email. In a minute. Did we already play all the commercials? Did you already do the?
No, I in fact have just a few more to play.
I could ask for a break here because I'm looking for the note that I got from my friend identifying the date. And I don't know that I'm going to be able to find it just casually strolling through here. And anyway, to tell you what, when the commercials play, remind me to look for it. We don't have to do it right now. Remind me to look for it, and then I can I'll see where it is that Dave sent me all of that stuff. I think it was in Messenger. Ah, there it is. Okay, it is in Messenger. Stand by. Inauguration ceremony scheduled for January the 7th from 4 until 6 p.m. Would you be interested in attending? You couldn't keep me away. You could not keep me away. As long as I don't have to wear a damn jacket outside, I'll be all right. And as long as I have to wear a tie, I'll be okay. People will ask me about that. I say, why not? Is that something that you got? I don't like wearing a tie. I'm 56 years old. I've worn a tie at formals all of my life, and I stopped doing it. And especially if you're paying, if you're not paying me to do a job, I ain't wearing a tie.
At this point, I don't even own one.
Well,
all my ties are in the Philippines. I have none here.
Yeah, I've got some. I got some in the house, and I have no idea why I've bothered to keep them other than sentimental reasons.
Nostalgia,
yeah. There's a couple that I think I look good in, but I don't know. That's not the thing. So anyway, the January the 7th inauguration event, and then we'll get details on each particular event, because like everything else, there's going to be the swearing-in ceremony. There will be a gala, and I'm sure. What day is the 7th? Can you look at that? Can you open up your phone and find out what day of the week that is? Please tell me it's a Friday. Come on. Tell me it's a Friday.
Dude. It's on the opposite end, bro.
It's a Monday?
Yes. January 7th.
What the hell?
Hey.
Get out of here with that.
Hey,
So...
I don't even know who does that.
What... Okay, so I'm trying to line up for the information now, guys. Whoever has the intel, I want to know when the debauch is going to be. I don't care about the gala. I don't care about the swearing in. I want to know when the debauch is going to be. That's where we're going to get all the inside, and that's where all of the secrets are going to be made that need to be kept all the way through the next 4 years of the administration. It's 9:44. A couple of pieces of good news coming out of Saipan. They're starting to figure out what the costs are going to be associated with the destruction, the devastation that came with the winds of Super Typhoon U2 out there. Although I will say not having gone through it myself recently, but I will say that the lessons that we have learned from our cousins and brothers and sisters up in Saipan and the CNMI have been incredible, and I appreciate the teaching moments and what's the word I'm looking for? And I don't want to say resiliency, but there's a word that runs alongside that with them and their ability to cordially bounce back. Because there'd be people here rioting in the lines to the to get ice, rioting in the lines to get fresh water, rioting in the lines to get the next available washing machine at the laundromat. Well, I know this because we've seen it before, but we're not hearing about those kinds of things. It seems to me like everybody is pulling on the same rope up there, and now within just a few short weeks since the storm, they're going back to school. Mm-hmm. They're sending their students back to school. Which got to suck for them. I would. Now, the closest experience I had to that was Super Typhoon Pamela back in 1975. Pamela hit on what would have been the last instructional day at St. Anthony School, and it came and it hit hard. And they didn't even bother to call us back in. They just kind of sent out word through the Umatuna and the Catholic Moms Network that all the Catholic schools were closed, and we'll get your transcripts to you somehow, and we'll have an ad hoc kind of on-the-fly graduation ceremony. Pictures of which are floating around on the internet somewhere, and that was the way it was, because they knew that there was every 13 and 14-year-old that was going to be part of some kind of personal recovery. And in my case, it was helping to get the house back together, but also we had a family business, a store, and so as soon as we got things near livable in the house, go down to the store and start mopping it. And while the girls were mopping the place out and trying to dry out the store, the men folk were in the back. And we began a process of assembling camp stoves, old kerosene camp stoves. And we did that for weeks after the storm. It got to a point you didn't even need to look at the work. You could just assemble it by feel after a while. And we must have sold 100 of those things in the first day after the storm, because kerosene you could get, gasoline you might be able to get, but a way to turn on a stove back in the old electric days, didn't happen. 9:47 in the morning. So I'm happy to hear that the schools are back in sessions. I feel for the boys and the girls, though, because they're going to be going back to school and get the assignments and maybe no light at the house to be able to put it together.
I was going to say, they're still estimating that electricity won't be fully restored for another 3 months.
Can you imagine?
Wow.
Can you imagine that? You get used to it, though.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say that it's not one of those things that it becomes the same kind of torture on day 30 as it was on day number one. Like anything else, you get into this pattern, and you just know what it is. The last time that I had to live in a situation like that, my recollection, because we were working on the 8th floor, and so the most important things to me were to be able to cook and charge my phone and make beer cold.
Oh, yes.
You got to have priorities, right?
Absolutely.
So I would go to the store and buy as much cold beer as I figured I was going to drink that night, and whatever left over went in a bag, went in the refrigerator at the radio station, and got cold enough to stay cold for at least another round of dinner time. And then you go to Payless and get just enough food for a couple of people to eat, and no leftovers, because there's nothing you can do with leftovers other than feed it to the cat and the dog. And the cell phone got charged, and there was another device that I charged. It was a portable fan with a battery inside, and you don't know how valuable something like that is. And it's not because the fan would keep you cool and move hot air over your body all night long. Had nothing to do with that. You know what it was? It made noise.
That's right.
It made a noise, because I could not get past the eerie silence of a night and just being able to hear the dogs barking and the crickets in the background. I needed something that reminded me of what an air conditioner sounded like.
You need to go camping more, Ray.
And the cool thing, I remember this, the cool thing, it had a battery that would last maybe an hour. But in an hour, I'd fall asleep.
There you go.
And then I would fall asleep thinking, It's cool. There's an air conditioner blowing. I can hear the fan of the air conditioner, so mentally I'm cooler, and that's how I mentally survived that episode. Hey, you know what? 10 o'clock, or in 10 minutes it'll be 10 o'clock. We've got another couple of minutes that I wanted to take care of and a couple of other topics I want to talk about, and we'll do that after these.
No one ever plans to be sick, especially when you're young. But sometimes things happen, and there you are with huge out-of-pocket expenses. And if your care requires you to go off-island because your insurance doesn't include GRMC, you have hotel, food, and transportation costs on top of your medical copay. If you're a federal employee or retiree, choose Calvo Select Care. It includes GRMC. And should an emergency arise, we're right here. GRMC, where patients are partners.
The season of giving is here, and the stations of Choice Broadcasting want to give back. 93.3 The Point, Boss 104, Star 101, and Lux Guam present Charity of Choice. Each of our radio personalities have chosen a Guam charity that they would like to benefit.
And I chose Habitat for Humanity. Tune in daily to see how you can help.
Charity of Choice 2018 is brought to you by Choice Broadcasting Company, Lux Guam, American Water Tech, and the station that gives from the heart, 93.3 The Point.
For more than 40 years, we've earned your trust, caring for our island's health, quality care and access to health solutions you deserve. Take care, our island, your health plan. Take care, health solutions that you deserve. Take care, peace of mind to comfort you. Take care, take care, take care.
Don Nicolani asking this morning, Ray, wasn't Typhoon Pamela in 1976? I believe it was in 1975. There used to be a store called Pamela 76. I could be, it's a long time ago. But I think it was May of 75. Maybe it was 76. I don't know all of a sudden. You got me, you gas lamping me. I'm not sure when exactly it was. What do you think, Mike?
May 1976.
It was 76. Okay, all right. I'll remember that better next time. So where do we get to go? Where do we get to leave off on the program here today and some of the other topics that I kind of wanted to play around with? That one there is interesting. We didn't get a lot of chances to talk with Estevez today, did we?
No, and yeah, I mean, we had plenty to talk with him about, but yeah, he wasn't
not taking any bait.
Yeah,
just want to be done, Ray. Just want to get out. Hey, Dennis Bora's online. That's cool. He's introduced a bill to ban foam packaging. Chris Barnett did this story. Outgoing Senator Fernando Estevez has introduced a bill that would ban the sale and use of foam packaging on Guam. Estevez, a Republican, is not seeking re-election. Bill 37934 seeks to ban the sale of polystyrene foam containers and the use of these containers in serving prepared food, according to the bill. It says that polystyrene foam, styrofoam containers can take up to 500 years to biodegrade, and banning the sale and use of these containers would prolong the landfill stability and delay the need for another landfill cell. There's a growing rush, a fervor, if you will, to get rid of all of these things that we've grown used to and accustomed to, styrofoam containers and plastic containers of and straws of all kinds. There are people saying that plastic just a scourge on the planet, and having seen many places where they've got issues with trash control, I agree. Maybe we need to figure out how we can roll back the clock, if you will, on our consumption of items that come in plastic packaging, i.e. water. I cringe, except I don't want to take the next necessary steps to do this. But I buy water in bottles, and that's what I use to make my coffee. That's what I use for hydration when I go running and whatever. And I feel bad because they're one-time use deals, and then I throw them away, and they're going to end up in a landfill somewhere. But you know, it's just the other alternatives, you know, maybe filtering the water at the house. I'm not ready to do that at this time, or maybe going and getting water bottles like the kind that you used to deliver,
yeah,
which sounds like a massive pain in the butt. and I don't want to do it.
That was a heck of a job when you delivered 350 a day.
So what I want to do here is to suggest to Estevez that we look at polystyrene foam containers and other plastics in a completely different view. Instead of looking at it like an environmental menace, it is. We'll give you that. It is an environmental menace of massive proportions. But if we want to ban them to prolong the landfill stability and delay the need for another landfill cell, may I make a suggestion? Well, I'm going to do it anyway. Go in there and, as one of your last acts as a member of the 34th Guam legislature, undo the legislation on incineration here on Guam. Nobody's done that yet. We still need to do it. At some point, somebody needs to go in and make it so it is not against the law to talk about incineration here on Guam and use these polystyrene foam containers as fuel for the machines that will burn the foam containers and the plastics and all kinds of other waste and turn it into electricity that you and I can use that might actually come in cheaper than what the guys at the Power Authority are buying it at. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to say that it's a stupid piece of legislation. I just think it's kind of a Me Too piece. It's just you know, somebody had luck with plastic bags, and I'm sure that there's a conversation, if we haven't already had it, to criminalize the plastic straws on Guam. But if we're going to do one thing, let's look for a high side and an opportunity that makes some difference. Hey, Brad. Brad, are you there?
Can you hear me?
I hear you now, Brad.
I live in the summer in Maine, and one of the things that we could do is get the rules and regulations going for our bottle bill, and all those water bottles you throw away, you could redeem for the 5 cents paid when you bought them.
Wow, we can't even get our heads around a bottle bill for actual bottles around here and aluminum cans.
We have the bottle bill. We just don't have the regulations.
Are there not regulations already set? I thought it was just a question of how we dealt with the fact that people might be buying bottles and cans on base and not paying a deposit there, but us having to redeem the bottles on this side of the fence.
The military agreed that they would participate.
Well, then I don't know what the holdup is.
Well, it would be nice if you asked some of your friends in the legislature.
I think I will. I got it. You know what? I got another mutual friend of ours on line too. So I'm going to go to Bob Kelly before the end of the program. All right.
All right. See you.
I'll see you pretty soon, Brad. You have a terrific day. Merry Christmas to you, and Merry Christmas to Bob Kelly and the family.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to say, but you jumped in on it. If we put an incinerator, a lot of these things they want to ban, plastics, the foam, those are all extremely good things to burn. Also, the tires that we're shipping off island. We can turn all this into power and actually save money not only on the disposal, but on our electric bill. So we need a small waste energy. We don't need like a 30 or 50 megawatt. It may only be a 20 megawatt. 20 megawatts of electricity that you're getting rid of trash is better than having to put it at the landfill.
20 megawatts of electricity, and we've got what should be a lower priced electric product that comes out of this. And number one, and then the avoidance of the expenses over at the landfill.
That's correct. And with today's technology, it's about as clean as burning LP gas, which is one of the cleanest things we have today to burn. So there's no reason not to do it.
Well,
what they're burning now.
Yeah, I guess the big question that we're going to have to answer, and it's I think fuzzy on both ends for you and I, one way or the other, is now that Wagdy has been convicted, what happens to that license, and you know, what are the reversionary opportunities that the island of Guam has to be able to null and void any conversation about that existing license, so we can move forward on something else.
Well, that I think is going to go around in court, but he may be too busy with the other courts to be involved here anymore.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe just find a way to get out from under it, and everybody go their separate ways happy. But I don't know what the mechanism is going to be to negotiate that. Hey, I got to run. There's that music playing in the background.
Bye-bye.
All right, Bobby. I'll see you pretty soon. 888-8255. Use that number this afternoon when Bob Klitsky, gets on the radio. He's going to be doing his Tall Tales program. And just like this one, there is no shortage of stuff for him to talk about. Can you imagine what the card is going to look like today? Ah, that's nice. Nate Horn talking about growing up in Oregon. Every bottle and can had a deposit you paid when you bought it. They have machines in parking lots now that will crush them and give you a receipt that you can use in the store. Science, man. It's 10 o'clock, KUSG Agana. Here's the news.
I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The Navy Glee Club, part of the ceremony in the Capitol Rotunda this evening as dignitaries, members of Congress, and ordinary people line up to pay respects to President George H.W. Bush, whose body will lie in state in the